There we
Let's
go.
do it. Let's do it. Now we hot.
Yeah, I would apologize for the punctuality, but I found out I was hosting 10 minutes ago, so I'm not taking blame for this.
Do we have any idea what we're doing around here, Mars? Do we have any idea
the,
what we're doing?
The unprofessionalism is crazy. I was ready to just hop into the stream and I see, oh, by the way, I'm not here again. So guess who's hosting? But hello everyone. How you guys doing? Ox, long time no see. How you doing?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Chill. How was your weekend?
In effect, man, it was good. Not much going on. Slow motion.
Yeah. I seen you on TikTok live. I tried to tap in a little bit.
I did see you. I did see you, Mars, and I thought it was interesting that you mentioned when I talked about. I was asked the question, Big Ox, and the question was if James could have gotten a younger Shaq, how many championships would he have gotten? And I said just the Shaq from Phoenix, and I think he would have gotten at least one. And Mars proceeded to say 1 year. That's crazy. Even though this is the same Mars who saw Chris Paul literally fall up a 500-foot cliff in 1 year. We saw him do that. That's not something that we this is the same Shaq who was in Phoenix. He was an all-pro. He goes from being an all-pro in Phoenix to he's over. So we've seen guys fall off a cliff in 1 year, Mars. That's happened.
Yeah, definitely have. Definitely have seen that.
Did it happen to Shaq, or did he just got lucky? But anyway, go ahead, Ox. What was you gonna say?
I just want to get a little clarification on the question. Are we talking about young Kobe? Like, are we trying to compare like young Kobe and young Bron? Like, if Bron would have been in that position with Shaq, or are we talking?
No. The question that was asked, Ox, was Shaq from Cleveland. Shaq in 2009. That's who.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Shaq from Cleveland in 2009. Had James gotten a younger version of Shaq, and I proceeded to say just Shaq from Phoenix. I think that they would have. I didn't even say Shaq from Miami. I didn't say Shaq from the Lakers. No, I just said Shaq that year and a half that he was in Phoenix. I feel like if he would have gotten him, as opposed to the Shaq that he got that year later, or the Shaq that was in Boston, I think that he would. I think that they could have won one.
So if you put that Phoenix Shaq with Bron in 2009 Bron, they win that year.
I think that they do. That 66 win team, yes, I do. I think they got a much better chance of winning.
So that's all he needed. That's all he needed. That Shaq.
I think so, because that Orlando front line was better than Cleveland's front line, and I don't think it was a question.
And they beat the Lakers in
that Orlando team, yes. That Orlando team beat
No, I'm saying that Cleveland team beats the Lakers.
With Shaq, yes, I do think that I think they got a really good shot at beating them. Yes. Off the strength that just in that 1 year, Shaq was still in that mode of where he was trying to prove something. He had just gotten traded, and he still physically could do it. I mean, he was the All-Star MVP that year. I think he was the co-MVP that year with Bryant. I think he made the All-Pro that year. So we have those years. Just like we had a guy, I feel like a guy could be past what he used to be, but still have that 1 year where he's still viable. Like Chris Webber in 2005, 2000. Like Webber was over in Philly. He still was a 20 and 10 guy though, right? Yeah. He still was a 20 and 10 guy. Shaq wasn't what Shaq used to be when he was in Phoenix, but he was better in Phoenix than he was in Cleveland. And I think that Shaq, I think they have a much better chance in winning than they do the next year.
Interesting.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Shaq in Phoenix was, he was still he was decent. He was decent, but nah, I don't think 09. I still like Brown was still, Brown was of course amazing in 09.
Yep.
But I don't think they beat that Lakers squad. That Lakers squad was something else, and Kobe Bryant was on a different mission. Kobe Bryant was on a different mission. Kobe, I don't think in any of those years that Bron was ready for Kobe. Like, cause nah.
Even though in 08 when he didn't have Shaq and they went to not Miami, I'm sorry, when the Lakers went to the finals, Cleveland beat them twice. And in the year that they won the NBA championship in 2010 with Shaq, Cleveland beat them twice. They actually got booed off the floor. And this is the same Shaq that was, like I'm talking about, he was over. They got booed off the floor on Christmas with Shaq. So if I give him the Phoenix Shaq and they play them in 2009, I think they got a damn good shot at beating them dudes. 100% I do.
I mean, they they had a young Bron and a monster. Like Shaq was a monster still, but I don't care about that, chill. I'm talking about Kobe Bryant in the finals.
He was a problem. Yeah, he was a huge problem.
I don't think Bron was ready for Kobe until, you know, maybe 2012, 2000, you know what I'm saying? When by that time Kobe was pretty much on his way out. He was had slowed down a bit, but I don't think that version of Bron was ready for 30, 35, 34-year-old Kobe Bryant. Like,
so piggybacking off of that, who was the best player in the world? 09. So who was the best basketball player?
We all know who it was. Which is everybody knows who it was.
It was Bryant. It was
it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
In 09, I thought it was James.
He wasn't.
I thought it was James, but there was people who thought it was Bryant. So
people just said it wasn't. People just said it wasn't LeBron because he hadn't won a championship yet.
Right. I thought it was James in 09, but you know what? For my criteria and what Bryant had done in 09 and 08, won the league MVP. Then the next year, he's in the NBA championship, and they win the NBA championship, and he wins the Finals MVP. I thought it was James in 09, and then in 10 he did it again. It was hard for me to argue that it was Bryant, but I thought I thought it was in 10. I thought it was Bryant officially. In 09, I thought it was arguable because I thought it was James.
I want y'all to just feel me for a second, right? Just feel me for a second. Let's say it was Bron and not Kobe or D Wade or Melo or Dirk or Tim Duncan or any of those guys, right?
Right.
He could be the best player in the world. He's still not ready for Kobe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's still not ready for Kobe. He wasn't ready.
In 09, in year 6, I mean, Bryant, I won't argue Bryant at that time. That 3-year stretch, I mean, he was probably at his best during that time. But Ox, when we're talking about, I mean, James had just been in the finals 2 years before that, so he had seen it. He was much better. Not only was he much better, we're also talking about in 07 when he was with Bryant in the Olympics. So he saw what the work looked like. So with him seeing what the work looked like, that made him much better. Okay, I know now. Everything that this dude got, I got. I just need to see what the work looks like. And this is what the work looks like, which would explain why he started winning league MVPs, which would explain why he was a better defender. All of those things off the strength that I see what the work looks like. Now, to say that he wasn't ready for Bryant, I mean, I definitely dispute that off the strength that he had already seen what the finals look like. And he wasn't ready for Tim Duncan at that point. 2 years later, I'd like to think that he was much more prepared.
So Swiper has Bron, I think, evidently. Chill seems to be sitting on the fence, saying it's Kobe, but I think it was LeBron. Okay.
And the reason why
who was
it? Mark. Well, Chill, was Kobe at that point a better offensive player than LeBron for people? Because I remember 05, 06, 07.
So James at that point. Go ahead, Ox. I'm sorry.
Better score. Better score for sure.
Yes.
Well,
but a better overall offensive player. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Me, I was. Oh,
do you think?
Well, I didn't hear what you said. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, do you think that Bryant was a better offensive player than LeBron by 09 still?
Yeah. Yes, I do. But this is my thing, though. Like, Chill, you brought up, you know, him being with him in 07 or 08 and all that, and I mean that didn't stop him from folding in 2011.
I think that was something different, though. I think that was something completely different. It was a completely different unit. Himself, he said it. There was no way. He was surprised that they was even in the NBA championship. And he said that. I don't know how we even got to the finals that year. He said that.
You talking about 07?
No, we're talking about in 11. He said that. I don't even know how we got to the finals. And we saw the performance that he had in 11. We saw that. He was, like I said, I'm not on the fence about that. He was terrible in 11. So, but
LeBron said he didn't know how they made it in 11. Like
he said that. He said it. He's on record saying. Yeah, he was on record saying.
Wow, I don't even know how they got there.
Why would he say that?
I remember
know how they got
5, 6, 7, and 8. I remember how they got there. I mean, everybody thought they were going to win for the next several years. I don't know what he's confused about.
Why would he say that? I know how you got
that.
there because you were with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. That's how you got there.
Absolutely. And he said that. I don't even know how we got to the finals that year.
That's him just being a politician, though. Chill. You know he's a politician. You know Bron's a politician.
Yeah, I won't argue that. No,
LeBron,
there's no way I'll argue that.
LeBron probably just wasn't thinking straight. You know, you're not you when you're hungry.
What up, PC Nation? Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this July with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 and use code playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code playerschoice50 at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Today's show is about Kevin Durant. So we started off with LeBron James. So if KD's watching, I apologize. This was meant to be a show about you, but we will get onto KD. Before we do that, shout out to Masenk OG for becoming a member. And then we got a couple members re-up chats. I'm gonna start with Masenk OG's one. He said, "What are the biggest NBA conspiracies that you believe?" Do you guys have any NBA conspiracies that you believe besides the 0-2 Western Conference Finals?
Swiper believes that Jordan was suspended. I don't believe that at all, but he believes that Jordan was suspended.
If you ask me for legit conspiracy theory that I believe in the NBA, in the last several years, what would a conspiracy have to be? I mean, there's foul call stuff for sure that have favored the LA Lakers, but at this point, I don't really think it's. Do we think that foul call stuff is not legitimate? Are people up here like of the mindset like the free throw disparity for them? It's like not a real thing, just like a convolution of random events.
No, I do think it's a real thing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's probably the biggest one that I'm aware of.
Interesting. Ox, you have one?
Yeah, I have one.
But besides that one,
that's the only one that matters to me.
Which one do you have, Ox? I'm sorry. Can you fill me in on which one you have, Ox?
Yeah, that David Stern put a call into the refs, and that's how come we lost the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers.
Interesting. So, Chill, you go.
A conspiracy.
I
think the NBA is trying to destroy the Boston Celtics. I do.
What do you mean?
Oh, you buy into that?
I do. I do think that's going on. They're trying to destroy the Boston Celtics.
Destroy how?
By creating a division within the unit. That's exactly why. I believe that they're trying to destroy the Boston Celtics. 100%.
That's not a conspiracy. That's not a conspiracy, Chill. That's not a conspiracy. That is actively happening. We're watching it happen. We're seeing.
So it's really going on. You think so?
That's not a conspiracy. That's just common knowledge.
I do.
I'm not controlling too much the last couple of days. I'm not controlling today.
Yeah, Chill isn't the only one who thinks that. In fact, a certain Lou Williams has said something similar. Let me know if you guys have heard this. But this is Lou Williams' thoughts on the whole situation.
Jaylen Brown, bro.
This is a good question right here. Yeah.
No, I really want to know because I'm trying to wrap my head around this whole concept of Jaylen Brown not being on that team. I'm trying to wrap my mind around the league trying to pit them against each other when they've never done that to two superstars.
They trying to break them up for years.
For sure.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Nah, I never thought to do that.
You didn't say break them up?
I did. Because they was beating my sixes every year.
I knew it.
Beating my sixes every year. Yeah, get them out of here.
Now you got JT now you got JT not getting minutes. And is there a conspiracy theory going on against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, bro?
So with that being said, with that being the theory, Chill just alluded to it. Lou Will and Jamal Crawford seem to agree. and Ox seems to agree with it too. Swiper said he's not going to troll, but I would like to hear Swiper's genuine opinion. Are the league trying to break up the Boston Celtics? Are they scared of them?
No, and the reason why you know that is because they're one of the biggest markets in the NBA. They're the most storied franchise in the NBA. I even think over the Lakers because of Bill Russell and them. You know, that's just my opinion, though. I think JB and JT, the reason why people have always kind of gone at that duo, Sean, you're a Celtics fan or a Tatum fan, so you know you can correct me on this, it's because they're two wings with similar play styles, similar metrics, and those two players typically don't work together super well. They tried the same thing with Kawhi and PG. It's just not a real duo in the same construct as a point guard and a power forward, or a point guard and a center, or even Jordan and Kobe, like Jordan and Pippen, they had their own little relationship that they had, but they played different styles of basketball. JB and JT, I think for a lot of people for the last several years, have a similar enough play style where people are just like, it's not functionally going to work. And they kept losing at the highest level. Now, the other part of that is they also kept going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they made 2 finals. So I think a lot of that is people just saw it not working. But then you get to this year, it worked. And then now, y'all, you add in the second apron. They have 2 $300 million contracts on the roster. So from a sustainability standpoint, that's more than likely going to cap their franchise. And as I believe, is a part of why the Boston Celtics ownership is selling the team. Because for them, they're going to have a $400 million luxury cap price they got to pay outside of the penalty, like a personal $400 million they're going to owe. So I think like that's where a lot of that's coming from. It's the play style. They're both wings. They were both losing. Neither one of them people think it's like in the best player in the world talk. So whenever people have like 2 all-star level players where it doesn't seem like their ceiling is super high are playing together, I think that's where that comes from. But I think the narrative on the other end of this is I also believe JB should have been on Team USA. But I was consistent on that. I think JT should have been on Team USA. But I think now it's just that JB gets Eastern Conference Finals player of the series. And then you get Finals MVP for JB. And then JT goes to Olympics. And, you know.
So 2 things, Swiper. One, Boston is one of the smallest cities in America, yet it's one of the biggest major markets. I think Boston barely has over 500,000 people living in the city, just in the city of Boston. That's number one, which is kind of ironic. Number 2, wouldn't that be more of a reason to destroy them because it's not what they are? So if Kawhi Leonard, like people didn't talk about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George that way, even though Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum became what Kawhi Leonard and what Paul George should have been. So you would think that they would want to see this thing through and actually get on board with them. The major problem is it's the Boston Celtics, because if both of those guys played for the Trailblazers, if both of those guys played for the Phoenix Suns, if they played in any other if they played for any other team in the NBA, people would 100% get on board with them. It's the fact that they play for the Boston Celtics, and the Boston Celtics have been rich in history, always getting the best talent in the NBA championship. Now they've gotten lucky with drafts, which I don't think that they've gotten lucky. I just think that they did their homework. The fact that they did all of this stuff and they became everything that both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were supposed to be, off the strength that you people think that
You people is crazy.
I heard you people, and then it got I know.
That's
all I heard.
I was
that's all I heard.
The Wi-Fi did his job right there. You people is wild. So
what do you mean, you people?
I heard that. I was like, okay, back him up. But they did it for me. They did it for me. Let's hope Chill can get back with us. Napping Trey said, "Nice hat. Swiper are the letters of his name. Denver and Serbia are aspects of his game."
Now that's a $5 well spent, Ox. You ain't never got a rap made off your name, bro. Never, Ox. Step your game up.
Trey, if you can create a rap using Ox, that'd be great. We'd appreciate it. Capo said, "Is Cat the worst elite player based off last episode's breakdown of multiple-time All-Star and All-NBA? Is Cat the worst elite player in the NBA?"
Elite player? What do you mean elite player?
Casual said that in order to be an elite player, you have to be a multiple-time All-NBA level player. So with his definition, Let me check for you. I don't want to give false information. Karl Anthony Towns has made All NBA twice and is a 4-time All-Star.
Worst elite player?
Yes. I don't know if he's talking in the league right now or just all time, but is he the worst elite player? Because I personally don't even consider him elite. So
me neither. But somebody said Julius Randle. I probably had Julius Randle on that list. If there's a Cat elite player list, it's probably Julius.
Ox, do you think Cat or Julius Randle were elite?
Yeah, and I think Julius Randle's better than Cat.
Why?
Because he got that dog in him, and Cat don't.
Hey, but Cat played pretty well in the playoffs in stretches this year, though. Better than Julius ever had, ever.
No, I mean that's fine. I still think Julius is better. I mean,
do you think Julius would work like with next to Sabonis, or just not enough floor spacing?
I think it could work. It just depends, like this. It just depends on if they want it to work. Like I'm of that mind that if players want to play together, want to work it out, and coach want to coach, then yeah.
So do you think Russ on the Lakers could have worked?
I think Russ on the Lakers was really. I think Russ got scapegoated on the Lakers 100%. I don't think that was on Russ. I think if AD and Bron would have been healthier that season, I think it could have worked for sure.
Okay, interesting. So you think
don't get me wrong. This is a different Russ. If you ask me, this Russ is done. But I mean, I do think like there's a lot of things that could be worked out on the floor. Like somebody might have to play a little less. Like with certain skill sets, especially in the NBA, everybody can't play together. But it's still as far as like the overall outcome and the team, I think you can work on certain things. Like you can't have a point guard, a shooting guard, and a 3 guard that none of them can shoot. You know what I mean? Like, okay, in that case, it's like, okay, what are we gonna do? We got to space the floor a little bit. But I think there's a lot of players that could play together that it doesn't really work out. Like, so to your question, Swiper, I would love to see Julius and DeMontis play together.
Interesting. Okay. I had a little members chat that was addressed for Chill, but I'll wait for him to come back up here. I don't know where he went. So Max Scar became a member. Shout out to him. And then I want to get on to actually the topic of today, which was Kevin Durant. I don't know if you guys have seen this graphic, but this is a graphic basically saying that before he tore his Achilles, KD's career averages were 27 points and 4.1 assists. And then he obviously had that, what for most people is a career-ending or career-altering injury in 2019 at the age of, I believe he was 30. And then he's come back from that and now averages 28 points and 5.5 assists. So this then creates the question, is Kevin Durant still in his prime? And if not, how close is he to said prime? I'm going to start with Ox, but I do want to read a super chat pertaining to you, Ox.
Yeah.
Someone made a rap for you and they paid twice as much to say it. Pastor Gaines said, Big Ox with the locks. He's a demon on the box. There you go.
Demon on the box.
Yeah, I'm mean on that box. I got Hakeem footwork.
Okay, but anyway, back to Kevin Durant. Do you think Kevin Durant is still in his prime? And if not, how close is he to his prime? Swipe up.
I mean, no, because Kevin Durant's still in the phase of his prime. He's not at the peak of his powers. I'll say it like that. I think that if KD was younger, I think KD's last full year, it was like he was like best player in the world. Was that what was it, a 41 game stretch with the Nets when they had in 2020, 22, 23?
Yes,
22.
Yeah,
that was probably the last time it was like, KD, like he's still in best player in the world talks.
Okay. Ox, how about you?
I don't know if he's still in his prime, but he's just so good that, the stats still look amazing. He's not as good as he used to be, no. Regardless of what the stats show, he's not as good as he wants. He's not as good as he used to be.
Okay, I'm with that. But so if he's not as good as he used to be, I think most people would unanimously agree in his, just for the sake of argument, in his prime, his peak, he was a top 3 player on the planet, right? We agree with that. I don't want to have I don't want to have anyone be like he was 4th. Like, okay, he was top 3.
No, he was.
Well, you do have Kawhi truthers out there. So I mean, this depends.
So yeah, but 3rd. Okay, we agree. Cool.
Wait. Hold on, Mars. I'm sorry, Mars. Now, Swiper, why? Because KD top 3. Does that mean that Kawhi is also not top 3?
Nah, because you don't. I'm struggling to like validate that because I know you don't believe what you're going to say, and I don't want to put you in that kind of spot.
All right, let's go, Mars.
No, Ox 1000% believes.
I don't want
Kawhi. He's better than Steph.
I don't want to turn this into
1000%. Yeah, he want. No, we can have the discussion, but Ox 1000% believes Kawhi was a top 3 player on the planet. 1000%.
So you got him over Steph, basically, not Rob or KD.
Yes. At certain years, yes.
But I get clipped for saying CP3 better than.
That's crazy.
Rightfully so. Yes, rightfully so. He got clipped. Rightfully so.
But with that being said, though, I think that top 3 rotated and not rotated with LeBron. I think Bron was 1, and then that 2 and 3 spot at certain times was occupied by Kawhi, KD, Steph. Some people would say James Harden. I don't think I would say James Harden, but some people would. You know what I'm saying? There was a rotation there, bro. In those years, you know, Kawhi got hurt a couple times. But yeah, that's all. That's all.
This would be a great time where I could run a poll. It would be great. Who was better, Kawhi or Steph? But
you still don't have access to the poll.
No, but they want me hosting. Like, it makes no sense. But I'm professional. But
won't you hit up JD or Claire? Shout out.
Nah, they don't want me to have powers because if I have powers, then I have leverage to demand a raise, and they don't want to give me a raise.
Well, you do be in the chat. I'm not gonna lie. You do be in the chat, so you do be swaying votes. So, but that's another conversation for another day.
I was on my okay. Before we get back to KD, to avoid doing that, I went on my burner account in the comments.
People know your voice. They know your voice.
I went on a burner account in the comments, so no one could say I was swaying votes. I did my best, so you know, I'm trying not to sway votes. I made sure that I got on my burner so no one could realize anything.
It doesn't matter if you swing votes. The chat is biased. You can't have Gifted completely butcher a stat, not even know what he was talking about, and barely lose by 1%.
Butcher a stat.
Obviously, yes. Well, because Swipey, y'all explained to me what Vort meant the other week, right? That's how come when he was talking about, I was like, well, wait, that's not what happened. That's what I thought. Was wrong. Yeah. I was like, yeah, because that's what I thought. But then y'all straightened me out. So I was like, it's no way. It's no way. But you know that, man, the chat likes who they like and hate who they hate.
Did you hear who was it when Evan Turner and Iguodala were on a podcast and they started talking about like how the NBA like isn't rigged, but it's borderline. And they spoke about how in 2012, basically Philly weren't going to be able to beat Boston because Miami-Boston was a bigger matchup than Miami-Philly. So who was it? Elton Brand, I think, said to them that we're going to have to win by 15 to win by 1. Because that's the situation I think Penn is in right now. Penn has to win by 100 to win by 1. Like, it's unfortunate that's the chat vote right now, but we are approaching the playoffs, so
it's really like more dynamics to it because sometimes it's not always the person who's debating. Sometimes it's a topic that you're debating. Sometimes you might get a topic like, I don't know, Jason Tatum versus Luka Doncic, and you can smoke the Luka Doncic take, but if it's Luka versus Jason Tatum, you got to really win by a lot.
I actually think you won that Jason Tatum one, to be fair. I don't know why he just left me. Hello, Swiper. It's just us two. I welcome back.
What? Oh,
somebody will not let you guys lie on the I knew it. I will not let this happen. I will, Swiper, we will not have it. We won't.
What is going on right now? Why are people getting shadow banned?
Ron won't let us do his job. He's on his
This what I mean about L host.
Like, shadow banned?
This what I mean about L host. Like, there's nothing we can do when that L host is in the building. Like, look at him just ruining the show. But yeah, I actually do think you won that Jason Tatum Luka one, to be fair. But But generally speaking, yeah, I think some of the topics are very hard to win. Like you start, like it's like starting a game down 20. Like you're starting with the deficit. And you got to try to make it.
I was surprised that I mean, you know, yesterday was whatever. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You wasn't locked in. You wasn't locked in.
Nah, I mean, I'm clearly, you know, look at me. But I was surprised I won the Larry Magic one. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't believe that, but you know, for sure.
Yeah, I think you had a little bit of favorable votes on your side.
No. I should have won the Spurs one. I should have won the Spurs one if that was the case.
Well, the question was, what would you do better with as a GM? And
but I know, but I asked for clarification.
Both you guys ended up just saying, well, this team has a brighter future, but none of you said what you would do with the team. So
I think the question just it could have been a little bit more nuanced. I think to explain, we're just talking about like, you know. But you know, it's cool. It's cool. I think John D did a great job yesterday.
Yeah, I do think John D did well. But before we get back to Kevin Durant, we seem to talk about KD for 4 minutes and then move to something else. But before we get back to KD, Elron 1000%. For anyone who doesn't know, the Manu and Iverson topic. I found this out yesterday. Mtel asked for Manu, I asked for Iverson, and Ron just said no, and made me debate Manu and gave him Iverson. I don't understand that. Cool, whatever, it is what it is. Then the Stephon Draymond versus Jamal and Jokic thing, he tells Mtel it's right now, and he tells me it's the peak. Like he just
Mars,
doing things.
I do got to say this though, Mars. With all due respect to Mtel, if he had Manu and you had Iverson, I don't think he really has had a shot in that debate.
I like to think I could win with a vast majority of topics anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I think you with Manu and him with Iverson is more of an even debate. With all due respect to him, I don't mean nothing by that. I'm just saying. You know.
Yeah, I just think knowing that I asked for Iverson and then finding out I assumed he just gave me Manu because we both asked for AI. So I was like, cool, I can debate for Manu. Everyone knows how I feel about Manu.
Who's better between the two?
Yeah, who's the better player? Yeah. I asked Ron for Iverson. He gave me Manu. So my thought process was, okay, I guess Mtel just asked for Iverson too, and he was like, we'll give Mars Manu because Mars has spoke about Manu and blah blah blah. So I was like, cool, I'm fine with that. Finding out Mtel asked for Manu, like, okay, that's crazy.
Well, I feel like Chauncey versus Iverson would have been better given what we talked about last week, but I don't think Manu's in the combo. But
I feel like James Harden versus Iverson needs to be a topic at some point, but they did a James Harden D Wade topic, so I can understand not doing James Harden and Iverson. And Manu Ginobili's better than Chauncey Billups, but okay.
I got a James Harden versus Tracy McGrady conversation. Like, how am I supposed to win that? Like, nobody's going to.
If you asked me for the error tax formula, I would have had you. But anyway, I feel like I made a good case for AI. And I feel like once we got past the first 2 rounds of Ron just sabotaging the debates, I feel like Mtel just ain't really have much for the Dirk and Melo debate. And then when he said Carmelo could play the 5 better than Dirk, I was like, okay, yeah, that one was just is what it is. But shout out to the PCL. Regular season is now over. We are moving on to the postseason. We'll find out our matchups at some point. I don't know when. I've been trying to wait for Chill to get back, but I don't know what's going on with Chill. Hopefully he's okay. Prayers for Chill. So let's get back to Kevin Durant. My question was going to be, Kevin Durant was a unanimously top 3 player in the league at his peak. He's no longer in his prime, or he's on the tail end of it, is what you guys said. So where does Kevin Durant place today in the NBA? If he's not top 3, how far has he fallen? Is he out the top 5? Is he out the top 10? Like, where does Kevin Durant stand today? Ox.
Today, KD can be anywhere from 4 to 11.
And who would be the 3 that you would just have distinctly above him?
Giannis, Joel, Joker.
Okay, so he can be anywhere. He's not in that group, but he's the next best thing. Like, he's in the next group of people, basically.
Yeah, okay. I think so.
But
with that being said, though, he can any given night, he can outplay any of those guys.
Swiper, how about for you? Where does KD stand today?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been pretty clear about this ever since I came on the show. I think he's the best small forward in the league right now at the regular season. I think, LeBron playoff conversation. So probably he could be anywhere for me from 6 to 8, probably. I mean, I think I have about 6 or 7, about right there.
So who would be the 5 you would have distinct?
All the international players, and then KD. KD has an argument for best USA player for me.
So that's Jokic, Luka, Giannis, Shea, and Embiid.
Yep.
In France? Okay. Oh no, my bad. Sorry.
Okay, so we got 4 to 11 for Ox and 6 through 8 for Swiper. So I want to like piggyback off of that because Kevin Durant is 36, I think. I want to say 35. I think he turns 36. So, like, I know we talk a lot about LeBron's longevity and he's going into year 22 and he's still one of the best players in the league. But is Kevin Durant's longevity becoming understated in terms of how long he's been great, especially when you factor in the injuries he's gone through in terms of the Achilles, and he missed that whole year with I think it was a Jones fracture in 2015. Are we underrating the fact that Kevin Durant is still one of the 10 best players on the planet at pushing 36 years old? Are we understating that?
100%. 1,000%. We're under. But it's. I mean, you know why? It's because Bron. Like, if it wasn't for Bron's longevity, we'd talk more about KD's longevity.
Okay. Swiper, what's your thoughts on KD's longevity?
Yeah, I mean, of course, in 2009 he was averaging 30 points a game at 21 years old. In 2009, Ox and I were still playing college sports. So, yeah, that's a long time ago. 2009, we had just got a black president for 1 year. You know what I mean? Just like for context, like we were in a very different place in the world. And so I think we were in the middle of a recession. Like Kevin Durant has been great for the last 15 years. And I think that's where his all-time argument comes from. It's just like, you can't name, I mean, maybe honestly Kareem. Did he have a longer did he have a longer peak in terms of being an elite player than Kobe did? So 12.
When did Kobe?
2012
is when it was over.
Probably 12.
Because he tore his Achilles in 13, and he played damn near that whole year. So
right, that's what I'm saying. So through 12-13, Kobe was probably still like top. He was a top 10 player from that point. So
and when did it start for Kobe?
2000.
So what's that?
99 maybe.
13, 14 seasons with relative health for the most part. Yeah, like because KD. When you think about KD, it started in 2009. I think you said he averaged 25 or whatever. And he's still averaging that today. That's 15, 16 years of doing that. But he's missed 2 basically whole seasons in that time too.
So imagine what his numbers would be right now if he didn't have that.
He would have been broke 30,000. He's gonna hit 30,000 this year, I think. Let me just check. He's 1,076 points away from 30,000. So, permitting health, KD will be in the 30,000 point club by the end of the season. He's made 14 All-Star teams. He's made 11 All-NBA teams.
It would be 16 and it would have been 13 had he not had those 2 years, basically.
Yes. So, I think KD's longevity is up there with the greats of longevity.
Kareem, yeah.
I think Bron probably stands alone, in my opinion, in terms of like he's probably in his own realm. But like that next group, you got Kareem, number 32 is in there, whether I would like it or not. John Stockton would be in there for longevity. Kobe's in there. Duncan. For some reason, people seem to sleep on the fact that Shaq had like 15 elite years, 14, 15. So Shaq would be in there. Am I forgetting anyone, or is KD like right there up next?
Jordan. So Jordan.
Dirk had
Dirk.
Bill Russell, Dirk, Wilt, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West. We're just going all the way, all time. Dr. J had a long one from ABA to NBA.
How long was Vince Carter good? Because he played for a very long time.
Yeah, that's
he played for such a long time, but like the last I want to say like 12 years was just Vince being.
But remember, people thought he was starting to get cooked by the time he went to
Orlando.
Well, I was gonna say because Raptors, we all loved him. Nets, we loved him. By the time he got to his third team, people were just kind of like, "Oh, is he like?" But he was still good.
The be all end all isn't points per game. So take this with a relative grain of salt. But Vince played until 2020.
Mm-hmm.
By 2010, he was already below 17 points a game.
Yeah.
So like the last, like he was averaging, he came in averaging 18 and 99. He obviously peaked at around 28. And then he goes to New Jersey and he's putting up 28, 24, 25. And it goes down to 21, then 21. And then he goes to Orlando. It's 16 and a half, 14, 10, 13, 12. And then the last 5 years, he's below 10 points a game. 6, 6.5, 8, 5.5, 7.5, 5. So like a long time, but
yeah. What's the cutoff we're looking for as far as seasons? Because I gotta throw Paul Pierce name in there.
When did Paul Pierce stop being great, Ox?
When did he stop being great?
Yeah,
he probably was in Washington. Okay, what's that? 14, first year Brooklyn.
14, 15.
Yeah, he was great. He was great all the time he was with the Celtics, and he was still contributing in Brooklyn and Washington. He wasn't great anymore, but he was still contributing. I'm just throwing his name in there. I just want to see what.
Yeah, I think it depends on. Now, I feel like when it comes to longevity, I do think we leave out, and I'm not calling Paul Pierce a role player, but I feel like we leave out. It's not all about just.
If that's the case, Robert Horry, Bruce Bowen.
Yeah, but like those guys,
don't do that, bro.
No, but like the point
in that conversation,
the point I'm making
Scottie
is
Pippen?
like not all longevity is LeBron James longevity, top 10 player for 200.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen, he fits
like,
that.
What about Robert Parrish longevity? What about
who's the
Robert Parrish played for a very long time? Yeah.
What was the big black dude that played for the Spurs in his career, y'all? The buff dude. He was a power forward. You know what I'm talking about.
DeMar Blair, Malik Rose?
Nah, bro.
Nazir Muhammad?
Nah, bro. What was his name, man? Yeah, he wore the elbow guards, Ox. He was bald. Kevin Willis.
Oh, Kevin Willis. Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Willis, another one to play. Thank you, Pirate.
Oh yeah, we had Kevin Willis. We did a little age draft on the Open Gym. Kevin Willis was like the resident 40-year-olds. He was
right.
Shout out to Kevin Willis. He played till he was 44, I think.
That dude was cold, bro.
Like those players' longevity, like I feel like it should be in the conversation. Like even if you weren't ever a superstar, but like you were a very good player for a very long time. Like that's still elite level longevity.
Drink more water. CP3 been elite since 2007,
and it's still better than Fred VanVleet today.
Up until 2021, he was if we say CP3 got in the league, and by year 2 he was elite. Year 2, okay. All the way through 2020, 2021, he was 4th in MVP voting. That's 15 years.
Regardless of even the voting, I think CP3 definitely deserves to be in this conversation as far as longevity. He was really good for a really long time.
And I think it's more impressive when you're small. Like small players having insane longevity. Like it's really difficult when you don't have the physical tools to fall back on. I think that's what I think makes John Stockton so impressive. Like, and alongside the years played, and Ox alluded to us when he did the John Stockton versus Chris Paul debate. Like Chris Paul played for a very long time, but there was also a lot of time missed with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
John Stockton was 82, 82, 82, 82, 82.
How many games he missed in his career?
Okay, I'm looking at him right now.
One season where he missed.
In 98, he missed 18 games.
Mm-hmm.
So in his career, he missed 18 plus 4, 22 games. In 18, 19 years, he missed 22 games.
John Stockton, Malone was like that. Steph has had since 2009, but from 12 to now for Steph. 12, 13 to now.
Yeah. What's that? But he also missed 2020.
Yeah, he did.
So that's another. So what's Steph got, about 10 years? I don't think it really stacks up with the players
for a point guard.
I don't think Steph in this conversation.
Well, how long did Isaiah have? About
8 years, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so for a small.
How long did Jason Kidd have? He came in 95?
Yeah. And
he was still contributing 17 or so years later.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, by 2011 he was cooked. Not cooked, but I'm saying he
wasn't what he was. He wasn't what he was by like I want to say like
he was still good.
Maybe like but he was still
he's probably why they
a strong contributor. Yeah.
KG was like that too.
Yeah.
Up until his meniscus, I think KG has like 13 years where he was an elite player. And then even post meniscus, he was still really good for another like 4 or 5 years. So KG's got what, maybe 15 years, 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
So longevity, like, I think is very impressive. And I think it does get understated a lot in conversations.
Oscar had a run.
How
but
long
again, I know that was
Oscar came in when 60?
62-1. But then,
and then
all the way through.
He played
72?
until the early 70s, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, and then he won in 71. He wasn't the same player, but he had for that era having.
He was still one of the best players in the league. And doing that 60s medicine, all of those things. Like,
but if we're doing for real, so LeBron was probably an elite player. To be fair to LeBron, he was an elite player when he walked in the league as a rookie. So he has 22 years, I think, of like actually being elite. He wasn't like best in the world elite, but he was an all-star caliber player. He just didn't make the all-star team because of politics. Like he was too young. And I think Melo too, by year 2, should have been on the all-star team, but they were just too young relative to like who was in the league. That's just not the way it worked. But I think LeBron, by the time he was a rookie, if not like he was already like in conversation, like this is one of the 20th best players in the world through now. And then I think somebody else that was like that. I mean, Hakeem was another one that had that too. Hakeem was like that, but his was he just got a little older and then like body kind of died down a little bit.
Jordan
could have had a longer one too. If T-Mac got a real run with the Raptors like early, and then he played through all that, and then if he didn't have that injury in the first one he got in Houston, I think T-Mac could have been longer, but he just was too big.
Definitely. Because T-Mac stuck around
over half a decade, like of elite plays. So like
elite,
he gets put in the what if category a lot, but like he still gave you a solid amount of time comparative to like Grant Hill gave you like 5-6 years at the beginning of his career and it was done.
That's a tough one. Brandon Roy too. Brandon Roy was
done early. Derrick Rose was 2012.
Kenny Granger was done early.
Penny was done early. Like T-Mac compared to like the what ifs he gets put with, T-Mac gave you prime years. And again, everyone else gave you early elite years.
Different circumstances, but Michael Ray Richardson with the Nets, he was incredible. He was legitimately incredible.
Very different circumstances. So.
Yeah, but he just that was the era, Ox. Like they just did too much. Somebody brought up Russ and Harden, both of them too. Russ even longer. Because I think Russ had to take the weight, I think, earlier. But I think Russ started sooner. Harden's going to finish later. Harden's going to be an all-star caliber player still next year. And he's 35.
Harden, because, I mean, maybe I just have an affinity for sixth men. But, like, James Harden in 2012 was already a really, really, really good player. He just came off the bench, so he didn't get viewed as, like, one of the best players in the league. But I think he was one of the best players in the league. Like, you go back and look at 2012. And if you take time to go watch 2012 OKC in most other situations that aren't the NBA finals, James Harden is one of the best players in the league at that point. And he's like, I want to say 23. And then then he goes to Houston. He's like a top 10-ish player. And then he hits his stride and like 15. He's a top 10 player definitively. From 2015 to 2021, he's undoubtedly a top 10 player in the NBA. And then he does his hamstring. And even now, he's just molded his game. And he's still one of the best point guards in the NBA today. Like, he's not Luka or Shea or whoever. But, like, you're not finding 10 better point guards in the NBA than James Harden today. And he's 35.
Speaking of 10 better point guards, is Colin Sexton in that conversation?
For what?
But top 10 point guard. I wouldn't put him in the top 10 because I just think the point guard position is stacked. But I think Colin Sexton gets underrated. Some of it's because he's in Utah. Like, so people I think he actually had a pretty good year last year, especially to close the season. So, but top 10, I just feel like most other times, like in NBA history, he probably would be like back end of the top 10. But with what the league has today, he might not be top 15. And that's not a knock on him. That's just the league is like, do I think Colin Sexton is better than Fred VanVleet? No. And I don't know. I don't think Fred VanVleet is a top 10 point guard, but that's just the standard of what you have to be a top level point guard in today's game. So I think that's where, Merry Christmas, Swap. So I feel like that's where It's just us two, Ox. We gonna have chill with Ox. Chill with Ox. That's what we're gonna have. Chill with Ox. For anyone wondering where Chill is, he told me that his Wi-Fi is just going crazy. He's trying to get it fixed, so hopefully we have Chill soon. Gifted should be pulling up here at some point soon, so we'll have Gifted. And yeah, but for now, a 2-person panel. This is what Ron be doing to me when he wants me to host the show. This is what Ron be doing to me. But shout out to everyone watching. We're gonna try and make this as enjoyable as possible, but we're doing what we can with the facilities we've been provided. So Alan with a super chat, he said Ron had an all-time L host performance last night, and he wasn't even there. He's a generational L host and L Ox bum.
Bum?
I agree with the first part. I agree with the first part for sure. L Ron for sure. Just doing everything wrong, just sabotaging the whole show. L Ron for sure, but I gotta show love to Ox, man. He up here. We battling out right now.
There's got to be some type of miscommunication with this PCL thing. There's no way that Ron is just actively sabotaging.
I think that's what he's doing.
Oh, you think he might be on purpose a little bit, just to add a little?
I refuse to believe you can make this many mistakes accidentally. So, for my sanity, I believe it's on purpose. So that's what I believe. But be sure to send in super chats if there's things you want us to talk about. We can talk about a bunch of things because we got time today. Raystar asked, who will we be most surprised if they never win MVP, Luka or Wemby? So who would shock you most if they end their career with no MVPs?
Wemby.
I think both. So. Like if neither of them win an MVP, like if one of them doesn't win an MVP, I'm gonna be shocked.
Yeah,
but
I would be very shocked.
I feel like I gotta say I'll be more shocked with Luka, solely because with Wemby. And I'm hoping this doesn't happen. The injury thing is possible. Like everything just goes wrong, and Wemby just never gets to that level because injuries derail things. Luka's been at that level for 4 or 5 years now, and now Dallas are really they built a team that is capable of winning in the regular season and the postseason. I feel like we're getting to the point where if Luka doesn't win one in the next 3, I'm gonna be very, very shocked. Whereas I think Wemby is yeah, we see the trajectory he's on. But it could just get derailed because 7-4 moving like that, anything could go wrong. So I think that's where I'm at with Luka and Wemby in terms of MVP.
I'm sure Luka's gonna win MVP this year.
Me too. I think he's been the favorite every preseason, but this is the one time I think he's got this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the year he gets it.
Yeah, I think this is the year I probably have. Oh my god, I see who's backstage.
But don't nobody got time to be playing with it.
This man is unserious. Anyway, Adam West with his daily at this point almost forgot. Let's keep it a buck. K. Do you want to read the super chat, sir?
Mars.
He can't read right now, Mars. Look at
Nah. I believe in you, Ron.
I can't even see the screen. I don't even know who's up here.
No one, man. No one.
Chill. I got a question for you. Man. I can't see anything. I don't know what's going on. I just came up here because I miss you guys. I just wanted to see.
I feel like the show just got worse with this edition. I was having so much fun.
Look,
Ron right now is where Swiper was yesterday.
What happened to Swiper yesterday?
Nothing, Ron.
You would know if you was doing your job.
If you was hosting like you was meant to be, yeah, you would know, but you don't know because you wasn't.
I'm looking for talent to bring up on the panel. I mean, to bring up on the champagne room. So,
oh, that's what you're doing. You scouting?
Yes, exactly.
Thanks, man.
Oh, look at that.
You wasn't gonna bring Chill up. I chill. See, substitutions, Mars. Chill. You're welcome.
Speaking of the champagne room, man, should have checked it out last night. It was a great episode.
So
I woke up this morning to see Ox had another champagne room up. So I might have to look into that one. W Ox. But
Shout out.
Ron, you gonna leave us to do our job, or you just gonna stay here and infiltrate the
panel? Quan with the super chat. He's been a member for 13 months. He said Chilltown said Larry Bird will beat KD in a 1-on-1 3 dribbles. Blasphemy. KD beta or KD hater.
Better though. He said beta. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing? He said KD beta. Like, what are we doing?
Yo, Marks, because I was with somebody from London. That was the accent, KD beta.
No, that's even worse. No,
No.
KD beta.
No,
KD beta.
No, Mark. No.
Mark, I was really with something from around your way. For real, chill. Let me stop. Let's talk cool.
I'm interested.
Yeah, true. That's what made me tap into your live.
see the
Someone said that you said that about Larry Bird and KD. So that's what made me tap in. So I didn't hear the explanation. But why do you think Bird would win?
I think Bird would win in a 11-9, 11-10 dog fight. I think Bird, as a face-up player, I don't think he needed a lot of dribbles in order to get his shot off. He had one of those shots that was impossible to get to. I think he had one of the best dribble pull-ups. A lot of people don't give Bird credit for his size. When I say size, I mean Bird was a bit of 6'9". Some people even said he was 6'10", but 6'9". He had a shot that was back here that you couldn't get to. He could pull up from the right side, and Bird was one of the better tough shot makers. Not just easier shot makers, but Bird was one of the better tough shot makers that I've ever seen. And with that being said, KD is not a great defender, but KD was a good defender. And I don't think Bird would have had his way with him, but I think Bird could have handled him in a one-on-one.
To me, it sounds like you just described Bird as KD, but 3 inches shorter. I'm worse at everything.
I don't know if KD's that much bigger than Bird. I really don't. I mean, I just don't know if he's that much bigger than Bird.
I would love for them to stand next to each other.
For real, I really would.
Stronger than Bird, craftier than Bird.
Definitely not stronger than Bird. Definitely not.
I don't think this is.
He's quicker than Bird.
I'll give him the athleticism 100%. But I've seen one-on-one players who aren't as athletic who have beaten guys one-on-one. I mean, Jabbar wasn't as athletic as Doc. He couldn't even play anymore, and he beat Doc one-on-one. So
are you talking about when they were both 607 years old?
Yes, I think Doc was actually 587 and Jabbar was 620. So, I mean, and like I said, Jabbar is not the athlete that Doc was, but I mean, he handled him. And in a we're talking 3 dribbles. And Bird has shown, just like Carmelo Anthony, that he was very much the phone booth scorer. So if you crowd him and you play up on him, he could shoot over you. He was good enough to do that. 100%.
Remember, Chill, Larry's shooting that thing straight up. You know what I'm saying? He don't got no Sean Marion or flat jump shot. Bird is shooting it up like this. It's not like you if you're not blocking it, you're not contesting it. So
right.
Bird ain't getting a KD shot either.
That's true. But that's
and I won't argue that.
And KD shoot better than Bird.
I think that there's I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. No, I'm not.
Don't say that confidently, Mars.
Yeah,
and then don't do this like that.
There
is
is
debate.
No way. No. Mars, the only reason why you're saying that, 1 is because of KD being a better athlete. 2, and because of the volume. That's the only reason why you're saying that. You're not saying
that has to matter.
100% the volume matters, but watching Bird shoot the basketball, just off the eye test alone, I'm not saying that KD is a better shooter than him. And I like to think the effort on defense with Bird is definitely better than the effort on defense with KD.
Chill, 100%.
In ones, KD has no reason to take plays off. They're playing one. You think KD just going, oh yeah, I don't feel like guarding him on this play. Like, it's not an NBA game where you can just, I'm not going to help because I got Serge Ibaka behind me. So, I could take this play off. You're playing ones. There's no incentive for you to not play D. Carmelo plays defense in ones. Like,
does he though?
But
does he though? I don't know.
Carmelo plays defense in ones. It's not the same as the NBA.
What's his capability though? That's really the thing.
KD is a more capable man defender than Larry Bird.
A more capable.
A more capable. My God, what is happening right now?
Wait.
So now KD's a better defender than Bird.
KD is more capable.
No, there's no way he's saying that, Ron. There's no way he's saying KD's a better defender.
So he's a better shooter, a better defender.
He said capable.
To guard on ball than Larry Bird is.
Based on what? Yes. What are you basing that on?
He moves his feet better. He has pause. He's longer.
Sure.
He's more mobile. He's more agile. Bird was a team defender who struggled to guard in space. What do you have to do in one-on-one? Guard one-on-one in space. He's worse at the things you have to do in one-on-one.
Three dribbles.
Bird is yeah. And guess what? And KD can get to the rim in one.
So could Bird. Getting to the rim in one dribble is not a big deal.
Like I said,
grade. Like
KD, like I said, KD is quicker than Bird. His stride length is longer than Bird's. Once again, he's longer than Bird. He moves his feet better than Bird on both sides of the ball. One-on-one single coverage defense, that was not Larry Bird. Larry Bird was a more impactful defender in the NBA because of the time period in which he played and because he was a team defender. That's why he was extremely valuable.
Let's not like KD on the wing.
Yeah, never said he was locking down anything. KD, his value on defense, it comes from his versatility. He's switchable for a 7-footer, his help side rim protection, and the fact that at 7 feet, you're not finding many more mobile on his feet than KD. Larry Bird was not that. That's not what Larry Bird was. Larry Bird was a team defender. So we need to stop conflating what guys do in the NBA on defense to what they were doing one-on-one. There's many guys who are great isolation defenders who aren't very good NBA defenders because they're clueless away from the basketball. And there's many guys who are great team defenders in the NBA because guess what? You're able to scheme and hide and keep them away from the ball so they don't get found out on the fact that they can't guard anyone one-on-one. Larry Bird was the second option. He couldn't guard one-on-one, especially against quick people, but he was so smart, he was so cerebral, his hands were great, and he was very active that in a team concept, when you have Robert Parrish there, you have another guy in Kevin McHale, you then get Dennis Johnson, Larry Bird can be an extremely positive defender, which is why he made three all defensive teams in a row, which I think for the most part were warranted because it was forwards and guards, and most of the forwards in the league weren't that great defensively at that time, in my opinion. So Bird made it. But when we're talking about one-on-one defense, Larry Bird is not staying with KD. He's not even coming close to staying with KD because that wasn't who Larry Bird was. Wasn't even close to who Larry Bird was.
I respect everything you just said, and it made a lot of sense. But I'm here to tell you that's horseshit.
Yeah,
one-on-one is very physical. If you guys play one-on-one, you have unlimited fouls. It's not like I can foul you 6 times and then all of a sudden we can't play one-on-one no more. Larry Bird can be physical. How you just said he got active hands, he's gonna use those active hands to disturb anything that KD's doing. Larry Bird's gonna be out there ripping KD. He'll be fouling him too, but he's gonna be out there ripping KD. Larry Bird's gonna be cutting KD off. Larry Bird's gonna be physical with him. You know, Larry Bird does way more than KD. He is stronger than KD. He's a pretty smart player, right? He's gonna use his advantages. He's gonna use his weight advantage. He's gonna put his weight on KD. Pause. He's gonna use his body. I'm telling you, like the fact that you guys absolutely think that Larry Bird's just gonna be out here getting fried because he doesn't have help defense is insane.
No, okay. Well, so I never said he's getting fried. I said
be ripping KD.
Yeah, I don't know who wins this one-on-one is what I'm trying to say. I don't know who wins this. It's really a good game. When you're guarding somebody and you're getting up under them, you know what I'm saying? You're there. KD can't just do whatever he wants. Larry Bird is a better defender than Kevin Durant, and I don't think that's even the conversation. And he's stronger. He can do. He's crafty. You know what I'm saying? KD's not getting to that shot, just like Bird's not blocking KD's shot. So it's just like to pretend like we just KD's watching him. No, he's not. And to say Bird's watching KD, no, he's not. That would be a hell of a game. I would like to see it.
Yeah, I just think personally, similar to Jason Tatum, we've overrated KD's defense for years. Now, when you say capable, yes, but I still have never just seen KD. KD don't win. Does he win games based on his defense? Is KD a defensive game changer? That's the question I'm asking. Does KD on the defensive end just change games completely?
I've seen him do it. I have. I saw him play the 5 against the Kings, and it changed the game.
No. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying since the Golden State days, all of a sudden people started throwing a lot of KD defensive positivity out there, and I'm just like,
well,
is it?
It's possible that he got better on defense because he went to Golden State and learned some things. He could have learned some things from Andre Iguodala, learned some things from Draymond Green. He could have become a better defender going over there. That makes sense to me. I think he is a better defender than he once was. I'm just saying he's still not. I'm still saying Bird's a better defender. Once again, I repeat, I just think that would be a really close game. I think when you look at the skill set of these two guys, the attributes, the size, It's a close game, bro. It's not. It's everybody in here that's talking about. Oh, he's washing him, like bro, like three dribbles, and then like people keep saying it's 3 dribbles. 3 dribbles actually might help Larry in this on the defensive end, because of how quick and athletic KD is compared to him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And I do want to say, like, y'all are gonna hate this. The speed and athleticism is not as far away as you guys think it is. It's really not. It's really not. It looks like that. It looks like that. But why Luka be cooking these cats? It's a lot more deceptive than it is. I'm telling you that right now.
Y'all act like Bird had
blow by
KD or something. Like Bird was not playing in mud. I don't know. I don't know why people want to act like Bird was just a big, slow, athletic. Like that was not the case.
You guys are still going with this. Okay, never
mind. 100%.
Mars.
Yeah.
Bird to be blowing by KD. KD get ripped through and dunked on too. I'm telling you the same things that KD got to
I don't even see how that's funny. I don't even see how that's funny.
Same things Bird got to deal with guarding KD. KD got to deal with that same thing. Hey, when Bird do this, KD got to respect it. He has
you know what it is, Mars? And I mean this with all the respect, Mars. I'm serious. If you ain't never played one of them slow, and I'll put quotes. If you ain't never played one of them slow 6'9", 6'8", 6'10" white boys, it ain't what it looks like.
It's not.
It ain't what it looks like, bro. It's not. I'm just saying. It's for sure ain't what it looks like. And them country boys, shit. Try to put the body on them if you want to.
So Bird wasn't blowing by because the chat's going ridiculous right now. So Bird wasn't blowing. Mars, please tell the truth. Was Bird not blowing by people and getting to the rack in the 80s?
Bird had a dangerous pump fake that got him by defenders.
Okay, that's what I literally said that. I said he'll show that to KD. KD has to respect the pump fake when he comes on his toes or jumps. God forbid he jumps, but when he comes on his toes, how can KD guard Bird going to the basket when he's going forward, jumping to the shot? How can you do that? Like, just think about it in your mind. I'm leaning forward to get to the shot, and he's going back this way. I can't go this way and that way at the same time. It's literally impossible. Tay Luke, I know that's the 80s. We're talking about a puck fake. Today, in the 90s, in the ancient ages, we can go back to the Egyptians. If your body's going this way, it's impossible for you to go that way. When Bird does this, you have to respect him as one of the better shooters to ever touch a basketball.
Yeah, all I'm saying is this is not what y'all think it is. It's not going to be a wash either way. I think if they play each other multiple times, nobody gets cleaned up. Like Bird was extremely crafty. You know what I'm saying? And in 3 dribbles is more than enough to get off multiple moves. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta know how to play with the ball. And I think that Larry is very simple at that. You know what I'm saying? You take one dribble right, you can still pump fake and have 2 dribbles. That's a double cross go. That's a cross. That's a spin. That's a step back. You can do all of that. Yeah, Mars, you can pump fake, cross, and still take 2 dribbles and get to the rim. That's easy.
Well, if you pick up your dribble to pump fake,
you don't got to. You don't. No, it's a head fake. It's a head fake.
Oh, okay.
It's a head fake. Pause, has you dribble, let the ball hang, pop, and you can still go that way. And Bird got all that.
What's good, Ron? How's it going?
It's good, man. You came up here to further let Mars know what how much KD's going to lose to Bird to.
Do you think Bird going to beat KD, Ron?
Respectfully, I got Bird 11-7.
I think that's a good matchup.
That's what I'm saying. If they play multiple times, they each beat each other. I don't think anybody's watching anybody. This is a really good.
Mars, do you think that's a bad score?
I guess I hate Larry Bird. So
I don't think it's.
I mean, what would you rank? What would you rank? Yeah.
11-3.
You know what, guys?
It's just being a jerk.
I gotta go continue to drink or whatever I'm doing out here in Greece.
I gotta go continue to drink. Is crazy.
It was fun while it lasted. Mars, you don't believe that?
I gave him 3 out of courtesy.
I think he really does believe that.
So hold on, no, explain this to me because I can understand if you're talking about this one way. Are you saying that when KD touches the ball, Bird doesn't get it back, or are you just saying that Bird can't score on KD?
I'm of the belief that when NBA guys go against NBA guys, there's no such thing. Like, especially when you play multiple games, it's not just when this guy touches the ball, you're not getting it back. I think that's just wrong because these guys, they're gonna miss, and guys can get hot, and Bird can rattle off jumpers. But what I am saying is Larry Bird is not consistently scoring on Kevin Durant in ones, whereas I am certain Kevin Durant is getting whatever he wants every single time. Whether he misses is not up to Larry Bird.
Can I ask you a question, Mars? Chat. Don't dive on me. Let me live. I'm just asking a question because I'm trying to gauge things. All right. I'm not saying Larry Bird beats this guy at all. I just want to know how much Mars thinks that Larry Bird was scoring LeBron. 2013 LeBron too.
11-3.
So he gets 3 on Bron too. So wait.
A courtesy 3.
So you're saying that hold on, what KD are we talking about? Current KD or prime?
No, prime KD.
I think talking about prime KD.
When KD was an athlete, when KD was getting to that rim.
So whose defense was better? 2013 Bron or I'm gifted.
Bron.
I think you just had this argument too.
It was Bron. It was Bron. Yeah.
Bron was clearly the better defender. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why doesn't Bron limit him to more points then?
Because Larry Bird's a shot maker.
Or why doesn't he score more? Or why doesn't he score more?
He'll make tough ones. It's like because Larry Bird or Bron, it's not about Bron's gonna lock him up more. No, Larry Bird's just gonna make 3 tough jumpers on both of them. That's it. It's not
I
like
think LeBron is just gonna bully Larry Bird though.
KD will stay with Larry Bird's pump fake. KD will beat Larry Bird to spots. KD will force Larry Bird to get to his second and third counters. And Larry Bird will score by making tough shots because that's what Larry Bird can do. He can shoot. Same thing with LeBron. LeBron will cut off his first move. He will stick with his second move, and he's actually stronger. So if Larry Bird does decide to go to a back down game, he'll be there too. But Larry Bird will make tough shots. I think he'll make 3 on both of them. It's not about, LeBron's going to play better defense because I think better offense beats better defense. So regardless of the defense Bron and KD play, Larry Bird will make some tough ones. That's why I don't think the score really changes. They're both going to score 11, and Larry Bird will probably make 3 tough ones on both of them.
I kind of feel like the LeBron matchup's different for Bird, though, because beyond LeBron being a better defender, he's the best downhill player of the 3. Like, he'll get to the rim and bully Bird way more than KD will.
We're not talking about Bird. I mean, we can, but I wasn't.
I'm just saying. Like, I think that's just a totally different matchup to me.
Larry Bird ain't stopping either one of them. It's just going to look, but he's not stopping either one of them. So, and this idea that Larry Bird's a better one-on-one defender than Kevin Durant is disgusting. Especially when it comes to guarding each other. Like, no. But and KD shoot better too. I don't know why we're acting like that's not true either, but what do I know?
I think Bird shoots better, and I believe that Larry Bird guards KD better than KD guards Bird.
Tell me one.
I don't know about that one.
Tell me one player Larry Bird saw in his career similar to Kevin Durant, size and movement wise.
Size and movement wise. 7-footer that can kind of do everything.
It doesn't have to be 7 feet because that doesn't exist. Just something close, anything remotely close.
Basically, size and length, Ron. I would say
size, length, speed, agility.
Yeah.
I actually said it in the chat. Dominique Wilkins.
And look what Dominique Wilkins used to do to Larry Bird in the Celtics. When Larry, and these are games that people have to watch. I've seen a couple Hawks versus Celtics games. Larry Bird wasn't even the primary matchup very often. But when he was, he couldn't stick with him. And that's in team basketball concept where there's help. He couldn't stick with him. Also, for anyone who doesn't know, Dominique took a lot more jump shots than you guys like to admit. He wasn't just a slasher. Like, he lived in the mid-range. So that's something else other people just don't know.
That's why that's
Dominique
the valid comparison.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And that's another thing people just don't know about Dominique because they see the highlights of dunks. They think he was just
all he could do is dunk and all that.
He lived in the mid-range, which is why technically his true shooting was actually like negative efficiency a lot of the time. He couldn't guard him. He couldn't guard Dominique. He couldn't guard him. And that's just a factual observation. He couldn't guard him.
Mars, I just want to put this out there, Fred, so everybody knows. Nobody can guard KD. KD's shadow can't guard KD. So I'm not saying Larry's going to lock KD. Just like Larry couldn't lock Dominique. KD wouldn't lock Dominique. Ron wouldn't lock Dominique. Jordan couldn't lock Dominique. Nobody. These are all-time great scorers. And that's the only reason why I think you saying 3 is nasty. Because Larry, yes, Larry Bird is a tough shot maker, but he's also one of the craftiest one-on-one players that we've ever seen. Be able to maneuver through defenses and stuff like that. So when you take the help all the way out and all that other stuff, all I got to do is get to this spot and get my shot off. I've done that my whole life. All I got to do is raise up and pull up over you. Larry Bird easily, at bare minimum, easily gets 8.
Let me box score watch real quick. And I think some of these games are online for you to watch. And these are just regular season games. Larry Bird's absolute peak, 1986. And Larry Bird is one of those players where, thankfully, his offensive and defensive peaks were pretty similar. 1986, these are just some of the games that the Hawks played the Celtics. 42 points, Dominique Wilkins. 40 points, Dominique Wilkins. 36 points, Dominique Wilkins. 34 points, Dominique Wilkins. 32 points, Dominique Wilkins. His lowest scoring game was 24 points on 7 for 20 shooting. So he had one bad shooting night, and I haven't watched that game, so I can't tell you why it happened. But Dominique Wilkins in the other games averaged above 35 points per game against the Celtics. And once again, in the games I watched, Larry Bird wasn't the only one guarding him. But I can promise you, and anyone who wants to take the time to watch a singular Hawks versus Celtics game from that time period, anytime Larry Bird was on him, he couldn't stick with him. Larry Bird's weakness as a defender was being able to guard against quickness. That was his one glaring flaw, was he couldn't stay in front of quick attackers. That was the one thing he couldn't do. And now we're saying, oh, he's just going to stick with Kevin Durant? No. That was the one thing he couldn't do. Like, the equating of NBA defense to one-on-one just has never made sense to me. Because if you can be a great team defender in the NBA, that doesn't mean you're a good defender when you play once. That's true. There's no real comparison. It's not the same thing. Like when Ox said, "Oh, Larry Bird's a better defender than KD." I think Larry Bird probably was a more impactful defender than KD in the NBA. In ones, if you genuinely believe that Larry Bird guards one-on-one better than Kevin Durant, I think you lost your mind.
Ox, I see you saying it's 3 dribbles, but that's what
KD's
KD
getting where
at.
he wants to in 3 dribbles.
That's what I'm saying. KD excels.
Dominique was cooking him. Dominique was cooking him off straight rip-throughs. You don't need multiple dribbles to get by Larry Bird. It's one move.
Yeah.
It's one move and you're by him.
I'm telling you, 3 dribbles is so strategic in terms of what you're doing on defense. And that's why I'm giving Bird a lot more praise than you guys are. Yeah. First off, it's a lot of it's anticipation. Sure. But also it's mind games too, because I don't have help. I can't shade you this way. I can't shade you this way. I can't expect nobody to help. So I got to play games with you. I got to force you this way, make you think I'm forcing you this way, and cut you off quick. Sometimes I got to back up, let you think I'm giving you a shot, and I'm not, and I crowd you. Sometimes I'm just once we check up the ball, I'm blitzing you. It's a lot of mind games and deceptiveness that goes onto it. Sometimes I'm taking a foul just to take the foul. I'm like, I'm telling you.
Shout out to Bird doing all of those mind games, 11-3. I'm as respectfully as possible. Most of these guys from the 80s are not beating guys from today in ones. They're just, the game was less advanced. They didn't even see most of the stuff. The game was just less advanced.
I don't think that's any disrespect.
Yeah, Larry Bird is an exception. Larry Bird could beat some people. He's not beating maybe
it's
the
not
best one-on-one player
disrespect.
ever.
It's just wrong.
I mean, we'll never see the one-on-one game, so I guess
because playing one-on-one is just so much more simple than it is playing 5-on-5.
You do know Ox can't stay in front of me like if we're playing one-on-one, and that's no knock to Ox. He knows this. Ox is 6'8", 6'9". I'm 6'3", 6'4", and I'm fast as hell. It's no way Ox can stay in front of me. But in 3 dribbles, he can be crafty and deceptive and force me into things that I don't want. Places I
what
don't
does
want.
KD not want? What does KD not want?
It's a good question, Mars.
What does KD not want?
KD doesn't want to get roughed up. That's what KD doesn't want.
And that goes to my original point. I
don't know what you're smirking about, Mars. That's simple. That's what it is. He doesn't want to be roughed up. Like then I mean, that's that's all. But like I said before, I'm not saying that Bird just beats KD. I'm not saying KD just beats Bird. Like, you know what I mean? It's just not going to be what these guys are in here saying. So.
Also, too, we keep talking about Bird guarding KD. Can we talk about KD guarding Bird, please? Because I think this is the part that I don't like, is the fact that we're just acting like Bird won't give KD 6 in a row.
He can do that. It's not crazy.
At all. If it's make it, take it, it's a chance Bird gets the ball.
Yes, it's a chance he just gets hot and starts making. Yeah. He's Larry Bird.
I mean, it's kind of my thing with this one-on-one. I can kind of see it going both ways. I would favor KD because he's elite and he excels at that, especially when it's 3 dribbles, because he can just shoot over the top. But Bird, as an offensive player, could also do insane things. So that doesn't really surprise me. I would favor KD, though. I would.
That makes sense. It makes sense to favor KD.
Favoring KD against anyone.
That makes sense. It's Kevin Durant. I understand that. I'm just saying, like, nah, never mind. I'm kind of off this conversation.
Yeah, shout out to Larry Bird. Shout out to Larry Bird. Apparently, he's getting with KD at once. Shout out to him.
Well, thank you, Quan, for sending through the super chat. You made this whole debate happen. Appreciate you. Adam West said, almost forgot. Let's keep it a buck. K. Keeping this hate train going. Dub panel. L. Ron wasn't even here. Dub panel. L. Ron. When we gonna get a topic about the GOAT, Steve Francis? No more Bron versus MJ. We only did Bron versus MJ once.
That's too many times.
No.
Yeah, we should. Zero Bron and MJ topics.
Who should we do? Steve Francis versus who?
Stephon Marbury.
We did on Chill Chill. We did we did a start. That was a start. That was the Star Bench cut we did right there. Steve Francis, Stephon Marbury, and Baron Davis.
What'd you go with?
I didn't do it, and obviously I cut Stephon Marbury.
Oh, okay, understandable. Who would you start?
B Diddy for sure.
Okay.
What? Baron Davis don't even belong in that conversation.
No,
and I love franchise, but nah.
So what about you, Ron? You seem to disagree. What's your Star Bench cut of those 3?
Mars, I'm living off pure nostalgia. When I tell you this conversation right here got me high on nostalgia, man, Stephon is gone. Long gone. It's like, to me,
see ya.
2 different tiers. Between these next 2, I think I got to start franchise. Hey, Adam West, I got to start franchise. We're going to bench Baron Davis.
Gifted? There might be a hint of bias for you, but it's fine.
A little bit.
Bias how?
I'm gonna let.
He's a Warriors.
I'm gonna let Marbury go, and I think Baron Davis was very crafty, but Francis is Francis, man. I'm gonna put Davis on the bench, and I'm gonna go Francis as the one who starts as well.
Hey,
I think that's mad debatable though. It's mad
universally cutting Starbury is crazy, man. That's tough.
What would you do?
Cut him too, but that's crazy.
So we are cutting Marbury up here.
I said universally, so but it's tough.
Was Marbury a bit overrated?
I don't think he was overrated. Do you?
In terms of just because of what he meant outside of the NBA, so people elevated him more.
No, not that. I'm talking about him as a basketball player. Strictly him as a basketball player.
I don't know who puts him in talks he shouldn't be in though.
I don't think he was over. I think he was properly rated. I think he was held in the. Yeah. He wasn't Jason Kidd or who else was around that time? Jason Kidd, Nash,
who we all just said, Steve Francis, Baron Davis, Allen Iverson too.
Yeah, he wasn't with those guys, but he was the next group down. He was an all-star level point guard.
Yeah, he was always just an afterthought to me. He was and I'm saying this with all due respect because Starbury was dope, but it was when I'm looking at these guys, I'm like, they're them, and you just not quite that. Almost like 2020 Chris Middleton, 2021 Chris Middleton.
Where did that straight come from?
Yeah, that's not even a straight. That's love. Chris Middleton, you was dope, but you just wasn't these guys.
Was Stephon Marbury better than Kemba Walker?
No.
It's debatable.
Interesting.
I know I just said what I said, but Steph could go.
I'm just trying to see where everyone stands on.
Are we doing Vaseline tax or no? I'm just asking.
Tax.
I'm just asking. Are we doing Vaseline tax or no?
Bro,
Do whatever you have to.
I never seen bro eat no Vaseline, bro. It's no way to have.
I'm just asking a question. Are we?
You ain't never been hungry before?
Hold on.
Not enough to eat Vaseline. No.
I'm lost. I really don't know what's going on right now.
He was eating Vaseline, Ron.
Who?
Marbury.
When?
That never happened.
That's his business.
And why are like?
I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why.
But who said this? This is widely known because Shoot3 knew about it and I didn't.
Yeah, he spoke about it. I'm pretty sure.
He said he eats Vaseline.
He was trolling.
I think he's he's gone on and explains like why he used to do it. Someone else could probably explain why, but I'm pretty sure he spoke about it. Like, I'm like, man, if you hungry, you hungry.
But hold on,
not that hungry though.
Aside from all Vaseline tax, why'd you compare him to Kemba? Where's that?
I was just thinking of someone who was never considered in the top tier of the point guards. Like Kemba was never Steph, Dame, Chris Paul, Kyrie, etc. But he was always in that next group down. So I wanted to know if Stephon Marbury and Kemba was close in terms of where they stood in the league. But
how would you compare Kemba Walker and Isaiah Thomas? I'm not talking about Zeke. I'm talking about
yeah. Isaiah was better.
Asking?
I think Isaiah was better, personally.
Me too.
Yeah,
I do as well.
We're not about to do this. I swear we're not about to do this. I can see the hate brewing in this man's heart. I can see it in his eyes. I just know. I know.
Wait,
why anytime I want to have a conversation is hate? I just want to talk.
Yeah. Do you hate Isaiah or are you just very high on Kemba?
I got big left Isaiah. Big left Isaiah.
Oh,
okay.
I just got bigger love for Kemba. That's all. Cardiac.
Because of what he did at UConn.
There's that, but I just feel like I just wish he would have never got drafted to Charlotte.
That is a death sentence.
And I wish Isaiah would have never got drafted to Sacramento. Ox.
That's fair. But he had the time of his life in Sacramento. So there's always.
I wish IT never got hurt in Boston.
Well, if Kemba never got hurt in Boston.
Another good.
Damn, Boston.
He still wouldn't be IT though.
Well, if Kyrie never got hurt in Boston. No.
They go to the finals and they beat the Cavs.
These point guards.
You never know.
A lot of people going to Boston and getting packed up.
Well, if Malcolm Brogdon didn't get hurt in Boston.
Facts.
Yeah.
Another one.
He's Boston point guard. But I think Isaiah was better than Kemba. I mean,
he was so good, man.
One was the worst defender in the league, Isaiah. But Kemba was himself like in the F tier of defensive players in the league. So yeah. And then
I'm just saying the things Isaiah Thomas was doing that season in the fourth quarters and all that, he was crazy.
And he was getting away with all those carries. So like
he's getting shit off. Yeah.
So
what if KG never would have got hurt in Boston? I bet Kobe would be out a lot more of y'all top 10s.
Why? Because he only have what? 4 rings?
Three.
Oh yeah, because Orlando got to the finals because KG was hurt. Yeah. So they 3-peat, you think?
Oh, for sure.
A Celtics 3-peat is tough.
They 3-peat?
Wow.
Wait, hold on.
It's tough.
How good was that 2008 Boston team? And more so, how good were they in 2009 and 2010? With KG being who he is, no injury, barring injury.
They were better. They were better after 2008.
That's a dynasty. That's a dynasty.
Ray John got
Yeah.
better.
And they were better.
Yeah, Ray John
Ray John
leveling
did.
up. Yeah. They when did they lose Tibbs? 11? 10?
Was that 11? I forget.
I don't know.
Because they lose Tibbs and they lose all their championship aspirations. So I can't remember when they
Who's
lost.
more portable, Chet or Sengun? Sengun underrated.
Oh, Chet.
Chet.
Yeah. I've been seeing that go around on Twitter because I'm active in Rockets Twitter. Chet versus Sengun.
I've been seeing that a whole lot too. Do you believe he's better or no?
Who, Sengun?
Yeah.
No.
Overall.
Okay.
All around.
I don't think he's worth playing in Chet. No.
So wait, Mars, right quick. Everybody, if you're a Houston fan, plug your ears. Mars, all honesty and sincerity.
Yes.
If they offered you a straight up deal, we want out, you guys take Chet. Oklahoma City. As the GM, what do you do?
Okay. Let me clarify.
Wait, as the Houston GM or as the OKC GM?
No,
okay.
as the Houston GM.
Okay.
I think Chet's the better player, but I think Houston needs what Sengun brings more than they need what Chet brings.
I see what you're saying.
We need an offensive focal point. Sengun is our offensive focal point. Chet isn't an offensive focal point, and that's why he's so valuable to what OKC do, because he doesn't command touches and he plays his role. He spaces the floor. He does all of those things, and then defensively, you've got one of the best rim protectors in the game. We need someone to run our offense through, because Jalen hasn't shown the capability to do that on a consistent level. Freds is someone who plays off of Sengun very well. Jabari, we haven't got to that point with him. Amen Thompson, same thing. And Reed is a rookie. We need the offensive centerpiece. So personally, and also Sengun is younger, if people don't know that. But so I think building forwards, Sengun makes more sense if we believe Sengun is our franchise guy. But I will say, if there's any hesitation that Sengun isn't a franchise guy, and they have strong indications that it's Reed Shepherd or Amen Thompson or Jalen Green or Jabari, and they have like it's clear as day that this is the guy to build the team around, then I would take Chet. But as of today, where I think it's pretty clear Sengun is the building block, even though I think we have like 5 building blocks, but Sengun is the main piece, I wouldn't trade our main piece for Chet, because I don't think Chet can be the offensive centerpiece that Houston needs in Sengun, even though I think Chet is the better player, just in terms of fit and all of those things. So
I don't want to be too down on Sengun, but I kind of feel
down,
like
don't be down. He's elite. Don't be down.
No. Sure. I kind of feel like with Chet, I feel like Chet's also super young, and I think he has the potential to grow into a piece that can be more utilized offensively. I just think the floor of what he gives you defensively with his rough offensive skill set already trends to be more portable as a guy to build around than Sengun, just because I think Sengun can do more things offensively right now at this current stage, but I think defensively he's never going to reach what Chet can do. And I kind of feel like if you don't believe in Sengun as your number one option, which I kind of don't, you take Chet.
Yeah, the fit with Sengun with others can be questionable because of the lack of outside shooting. But I think you supplement that by the fact he is a pretty good screener. He is a very strong post presence, and he's a very strong and willing passer. Now, there's flaws, but you have the building blocks for someone who can fit with a multitude of guys. Like him and Fred work very well because he sets good screens and Fred can shoot coming out of pick and roll. That's very valuable. Or he can play in the pocket and make reads or score in the middle of the floor. Like I think he shows that he can play next to other strong players. But I think Chet is a more seamless fit. But I think you only get Chet if you already have your offensive centerpiece there.
Okay, that's fair.
OKC have Shea. So Chet just has to fit in where he gets in terms of he's going to run the floor. He's going to cause cross matches in transition. If he becomes a better shooter, he spaces the floor more consistently. And then defensively, he does everything. Like he's one of the best.
I want to be clear with you, Mars. I think Shea's a better player than Chet. I do. I just want to ask, like, in terms of projection, could you see a season where Chet becomes better than Shea at his very best? Is that possible to you?
Yes. I think I've said that on Open Gym. I think 3-4 years from now, when Chet's like 26, I think he'll be the best player in OKC.
That's possible.
Not because he's their best offensive player. I don't think he'll ever be their best offensive player. But in terms of impact and what he brings to the floor, I think he'll be their best player.
Like everything all around, you mean?
Yeah.
Right.
I think he'll become a better rebounder. I don't think he's going to put on a bunch of weight. I don't think he's going to become 240. He's Chet's what, like 190 something. Like I think he's probably going to be like 210, 215. But he's going to become a better rebounder in terms of just positioning. Hopefully he becomes better at boxing out, but I understand he lacks strength in that department. But the shot is going to get better. He's going to speed up the release. I've seen signs of self-creation that I think are going to become a lot more viable as time goes on. Not in terms of we're going to run Chet ISOs, but Chet being able to attack a closeout and really punish teams in that regard in terms of in the mid-range and all those things. I think is going to be there. He's shown capability as a secondary playmaker and all of those things. And then defensively, I think he's going to be the second or third best defender in the league. So all of that in together, I think, that's the best player on the team if I project everything correctly and how I think it will. So that's why Chet was my number.
I think that's fair.
In that draft, all of those things. But I hope Rockets fans don't take that as me disrespecting Alperen Sengun. I still think he's one of the best young bigs in the league. I think I'm pretty comfortable saying he's one of the 7 best centers in the NBA, and he's only 22. So I'm trying not to disrespect Sengun. I hope no one takes it as such. I just think Chet is really, really, really good. And I think it's more than, he just averaged 17 and 7. Like,
it's like his impact on defense. If you go back and you watch what they did, like, bro, the shit that Chet was doing defensively all playoffs long, especially versus the Mavs, was like showing his real value. And he's still very raw himself, right? Like, I think offensively, there's many things that Chet can do to improve. He showed some hints of being a solid enough passer. Like, that growth for him is coming. I think the shooting and all of that, once he finds more comfortability, can really grow into a much bigger offensive role too.
He just got to speed up that release. That was the problem. You just got to get it off quicker. But I do really like Sengun, and I'm not trying to disrespect him or anything. I hope Rockets fans don't act like I'm hating or anything. I'm very high on Sengun and the young core. I just think he's harder to build around as a centerpiece. Even though I think his defense is overstated in terms of how bad it is, I don't think he's a bad defender per se. I think he's probably more the neutral side. I just think he's not the typical defender. I don't think he's much of a rim protector. I don't think he can play drop. But I do think he's shown the capability to play high and pick and roll. I do think he's shown the capability to be active, help side rim protection. For some reason, he's really good at chase down blocks. But shout out to him. He's a solid rebounder. He gets up and down the floor.
Yep.
But I just think Chet's ceiling and current projection right now, I just think probably the better player. But I'm just really, really high on Chet. Like, he's one of the 40-ish best players in the NBA. So,
could we see a breakout season from Chet?
Yes.
Like, I think Chet's going to.
I think so.
I don't know if it's going to be this year, next year, or the year after that. I think we're going to see an explosion from Chet.
Well, offensively?
Yeah. I think he's. So I like everything that you said about him, Mars. I think he's a little better offensively than you give him credit for. I don't think Chet does anything bad offensively. And I think he has the potential to be great in certain areas offensively. A lot of it's just growth and him getting stronger. That's literally the only thing. It's just him getting stronger.
That's a big thing, though. Like, he has to get stronger.
He will. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about it is, like, he's going to continue to get older. He's going to continue to be in the weight room. He's going to continue to put weight on. It's just natural. It's just natural with your body. And
like the ball handling reps, I think he needs to.
Yeah,
I would say.
But a lot of that is with strength too, though. When you're that tall and skinny, all somebody has to do is just do this to you, and you'll fall over. Once he gets stronger, he'll have a tighter handle, and people won't be able to knock him off his angles and his pivots and stuff like that. So
his footwork is really good, though. Like,
that's why I'm high on him.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Like, to be that tall, have footwork and handles, and once again, like, Chet can shoot. So if he gives you a pump fake, I like it's a good building block to work with.
And he has really good
I like Chet and Hardenstein together. I'm excited to see them in minutes together this year.
Me too.
I'm liking what they did over there. Like, I'm really nervous about what Shea, Alex Caruso, J-Dub, Chet, and Hardenstein lineups are going to look like.
They got some very good defensive lineups out there for sure.
That lineup right there is not. It's nothing sweet about that lineup, and
And don't forget about Cason Wallace too, if he can grow again, because he was also very good for them off the bench last year as a rookie.
They're my favorites out west for a reason. Like, that team is really, really, really good.
That's a really good team. Yeah.
That's if everyone stays healthy and things don't change too much with other rosters, I'd be pretty surprised if they don't get out of the West. Now, I understand some matchup issues in terms of just the size and physicality of a team like the Lakers or the Nuggets in terms of Jokic or Anthony Davis and all those things. But in terms of the versatility they have schematically, the versatility they have in terms of their players, how good of a coach I think Dagnall is, the fact that they don't really have any flaws on either side of the ball. The only flaw I can really point to is defensive rebounding. But that's
I would say consistent 3-point shooting. I mean, like, they shot the ball well during the regular season, but I'm saying, like, they have guys who can be variants in playoff games in terms of that.
Yeah, I think so. But I think they're so good at just creating good ones that I understand it's a numbers game in terms of you might miss, like, you might just shoot poorly in this game. But I trust the process more than like the outcome, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I like OKC's offensive process just generates consistently good looks. And the fact that Shea can routinely get to a 50% mid-range shot on any given possession.
Or just outright get all the way to the paint as well. Like,
it's just extremely valuable to have in the postseason, to have someone who can generate elite looks in the half court every time down the floor. And if J-Dub takes I don't know how much of a jump I think J-Dub's going to take, but if J-Dub can just get marginally better, I think, I got OKC coming out of the West. That's why I got
is it crazy to say that OKC should be over there? Like, I kind of feel like Denver took a step back. I don't really view them as like the kings of the West like that anymore.
I don't think they were the kings of the West last year. I think people just saw they won the championship. So it was like, oh, Denver.
I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if they got worse from last year to this year, because even though they lost KCP, which I think is a big loss, I think going from Reggie Jackson to Russell Westbrook is a huge addition. Reggie Jackson,
that's an improvement.
Reggie Jackson to me was just unplayable. So that was a bad thing to have. I also think Christian Brown and Peyton Watson have to take jumps. Like, they have
offensive leaps.
Yes, they have to. But I think it's within the realm of possibility to say that they do. And if they do, I think they're actually better than they were last year. But if they don't, then I think they're worse off. If Christian Brown and Peyton Watson and Julian Strova are the same players as they were last year, I think Denver are a worse team. But if they get better like I project they will, I think Denver are in a better position than they were last year. I just don't think it's enough to be OKC.
I think the KCP loss for me rings volumes more because now you lose another guy who could occasionally be a ball handler. I think he was like a top 2 defender for their team. And with him being gone, like, I get that Russ will make them better in terms of having him with athleticism off their bench. But for a playoff series, I feel like Russ's fit next to Denver with their non-spacers could be kind of concerning. And not having KCP to be a knockdown guy who could also play defense, losing both of those as a value to me really hurts Denver, I feel like.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm really high on the potential growth of their young guys, so I guess that's
fair.
But Mars, I want to step in here right quick because you said something and it kind of stuck with me. You said Reggie Jackson was unplayable.
Yes.
And then I got to thinking, can you run us down your all-playable team, starting 5 in the NBA?
My all-unplayable team?
Yes. Like the one where when Chill
all unplayables
they play 5 minutes and Chill throws his clipboard like, man, get him off the court.
Only playoff team. So, like, I'm not going to say Johnny Davis, or like we're talking just in the NBA.
Yeah, let's talk good team. So we could really see like you're on a good team, but you literally are a negative to this team. It's not the team is trash, you're trash.
Well, Reggie's in Detroit now, but I'm still counting Reggie Jackson because he was on a good team last year. So Reggie Jackson.
Okay.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Got to.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
First of all, we gotta establish some parameters here, Mars. And again, I apologize for somebody got a tongue lashing earlier today because this is unacceptable. But Mars, we gotta establish some parameters. What makes you unplayable? What makes you to a point where get him off the floor? He can't help us at all. So can we get some parameters there? What makes you unplayable?
I think there's a variety of ways to be unplayable. One is you are just an egregiously bad defender who can consistently get hunted. And if you're that and you don't provide value offensively, usually by spacing the floor, you cannot play. Then the other option is you are a really good defender but you are so bad
offensively
that we are playing 4-on-5 and you aren't making up that value on the other end, that we can't play you. But that one is a more situational series to series player. I think if you provide elite value on defense and you're bad offensively, I think situational in terms of like certain matchups, maybe for spark minutes you can play. But if you're just egregiously bad defensively and you don't space the floor, there's just no minutes for you in the playoffs, in my opinion. So I think Reggie Jackson, and then also you just got the point guard who can't score or play make and is bad defensively, the Reggie Jackson. So Reggie Jackson, Tim Hardaway, Josh Giddey last year for
Josh
OKC.
Giddey's one,
but I think generally speaking, he's a good player. I just think in OKC he was unplayable for them.
Andre Roberson? You think Andre Roberson was unplayable?
Oh, we're doing all time?
Nah, it was just currently. But
okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll stick right here. We'll stay right here.
Okay.
In the unplayable in this world, it's through this world.
We'll stay right here.
Out of this world.
And
every sales set play defense.
And I like this guy, and everyone knows how much I like this guy's defense. Jared Vanderbilt. I feel like that offense is just so bad. I don't know if you can get minutes from him in the postseason.
What makes Reggie Jackson so? Because I've seen Reggie Jackson, like he can knock down a shot. Is it because he's older now? Is that primarily what it is?
I think it's being older, chill, but I think it's also just like his presence on the floor because defensively he doesn't really provide much. He has awful shot diet at times, and when he's not making shots, it's just like, why is he on the floor?
It's not about his ability to. It's not about his ability to make shots. It's the shots.
Is he making shots?
It's the shot that he takes horrible shots. More often than not, they're probably not going in. Anytime he goes below the paint, for some reason he tries to become Kyrie Irving. I don't know why he does that, but he's not Kyrie, so that has to change. And then defensively, it's barbecue chicken. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It's barbecue chicken. Defensively, he's providing negative value. And then offensively, he thinks he's better than he is. And he just plays outside the system. And it culminates into, we can't play.
It doesn't help that he's older, Mars, but I think a lot of that has to do with him. I think that has a lot to do with his game because Reggie Jackson was a player who there was a time when, he could score the basketball. There was a time when he could get to the rim. There was a time when he could finish. Like when
he shot 50-49 on the Clippers in the playoffs.
That's what I'm talking about. There's a time when that happened. I think the problem that we have now is I think he's older, so he can't get to the rim. He can't get by guys. The strengths that he had before, I think that's what makes him quote unquote unplayable. But I mean, can we protect him as a defender on that Denver team? Unfortunately, no, because we don't have guys like what they have in Boston. They don't have guys like what they have in Minnesota, where they got perimeter defenders that can protect somebody like Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, that also plays into it. The personnel around you can be masked. And unfortunately, Reggie could not be masked.
I hate saying this guy's name because he was one of my favorite players at his best, but right now I would have to say PJ Tucker. Can't really space the floor. The defense isn't what it was at his best. It's just hard, man. It's hard to have him out there now.
Is it because he's old also?
Yes. I think the age is definitely
Yes. I mean, a few years ago, PJ Tucker was a valuable player on good teams.
100%.
He was a starter on the championship team just 3 years ago. I mean,
but now the offense is egregious. All he does is run from corner to corner. That's all he does, and he can't make the shots. So he's just doing nothing on offense. And then defensively, he used to be like a wing stopper. Now he's like a wing annoyer. Like he just annoys people.
Is he even that at this stage?
No.
Yeah, like
he's not even playing minutes like that.
Neither, Elder. I don't.
Yeah, like when he gets out there, he'll hack you. He'll commit like a foul that's pointless. It's like, he's just annoying me. But like you still scoring easily. You get into the free throw line. So for his 7 minutes, he's just out there to annoy you and then do nothing on offense. That's it.
I think what hurts him the most is like he's not shooting the ball. If he shot the ball, cool. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but you don't see him out there.
PJ can't help anybody right now.
As a veteran leader, he can, but on the court, no.
Okay. Yo, what's going on, Elder Rufus? Yo, we got Elder Rufus in the house.
Hello, everybody.
What's good, Elder?
Coming through. A long time no see on the panel.
Yes, sir.
Very long time.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. The second oldest on the panel now.
Yo, Mars.
What do you say?
He might be. I don't know, but Chill might be the second
I
oldest.
don't know,
up there.
Mars. You think I'm older than Greg Popovich, so I don't know.
No, I think I'm.
Greg's
How old
old.
you, Chill?
51.
Yeah, I'm older than Chill. I just turned 52 a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Happy
I'm
belated.
older
Happy
than Chill.
belated.
Happy belated.
Nice
Yo,
one, Chill.
Elder Rufus up here. In case you guys don't know, he's a adamant Lakers fan.
Oh, okay.
I'm a retired Lakers fan, is what I am.
Retired? You're done?
You're done?
Retired. I retired a little bit back, about half a year ago.
So who you a fan of?
That's very recent.
I'm retired. I'm retired.
He's just a
What
fan
made
of
you
the good
retire?
old days. He's just a
I
fan of the good
still
old
love the NBA, but I'm retired from cheering for the Lakers. I won't cheer for anybody else because that was my team. So I'm retired.
So you're just take the re out. You're just a tired Lakers fan right now.
No,
That's what it sounds like.
Retired. I'm retired from cheering for the Lakers. I
What
have
make
that
you come
right.
out of retirement?
When you've been a fan since '79, you have the right to retire.
Ron, understand the difference between tired and retired. Okay, tired is that you could get me back on the boat. Retired is I'm out. I'm done.
out.
That's it.
I'm out.
I'm finished.
I'm done.
Tired.
So you're saying
I could get rejuvenated. You know, you could get me back on the. You could get me back on the ship. Retired.
okay? So like, if they rebuilt the team, nothing about them will make you say, "I want to hop back on that." Like, no, you just
not why
nothing.
Jeannie Buss is the owner. Now, if she
okay,
gives
that
up
makes
ownership,
sense. Okay, I got you.
They may be able to send a letter. I draft it up, get my people look at it, and come out of retirement. I don't know, maybe.
So you
What was the turning point? What was the final? What was the
I just can't take her. I can't take her no more. I can't. Everybody think it was because of LeBron, but it's not. I mean, she would have no success without LeBron and Clutch. Think about it. In her tenure, that's the only success she's ever had. From 13 on, she ain't done nothing. And she's turned it more into entertainment. And I understand her position because you got to split that pie with 6 folk. You know what I mean? And it makes it rough for her. And they dictate what goes on a lot, even though they don't have any say in basketball. You know what I mean? Don't have any knowledge, I should say. They got a lot of say. They don't have any knowledge. And it just bothers me that she's a puppet. Like, she gets played by the family. She gets played by Clutch. She gets played by LeBron. She gets played by everybody. And none of them execs really respect her. Now, they respect because her dad was great. She's been in the business a long time, but they don't respect her knowledge of the game. I think she'd be better if she keeps the team to totally turn the basketball side over to someone and don't bother them. Let them do their job. She can't do that, though, because, it's money. It's a business first. We don't like to admit that, but NBA is a business before it's a game, before it's it's an entertaining business. And I get her problem. I mean, I'd be embarrassed, to be not embarrassed, but I'd be looking sideways and know that I got a player on my team that's worth more than me.
There's plenty of owners, I feel like.
You're not lying.
On her team that is worth more than her.
That's crazy.
Because she got to split her pot.
There's plenty of owners that are in the background. I mean, I don't think that's an old thing, right? I don't know who the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves is. I don't know who he is. I've heard the name, but if you told me to pick him out of a lineup, I don't know who he is, right? I just don't. You very rarely hear about he owns the Trailblazers, the Microsoft guy. How often do you hear about him? No, that's why I pay other people. That's why I pay the president. That's why I pay the general manager. That's why I pay that's why I pay the president, the general manager. That's why I pay these guys. Do your job.
Yeah.
Why am I doing your job? There's no reason for me to do your job, right? So I don't really hear about a lot of other owners in the NBA, and they've been successful. It's not ridiculous to think that you can have a team where the owner is out of sight, but that's not going to happen with the Lakers because Jerry Buss has always been in the spotlight. So that tradition has to be, that tradition has to be kept up. On top of that, the family business is the Lakers. So it's not like it's something they got something else going. This is the family business. This is why I'm passing it down from me to my kids. So she's going to always be a part of that, unfortunately. So
she has trust issues. I mean, like she got this brain trust, and I can tell you now, in any kind of business, if you got to get 6, 7, 10, 15 people's opinion before you make a decision, you're going to always be lacking. And that's what I've seen since 2013. And I've taken it for over a decade, and I just can't take it no more. So, again, do I want them to be successful? Yes. I want the Lakers to be successful. Can't say I'm sitting here cheering for them. I'm not cheering against them. I'm not cheering for anybody else. I will never be another fan like, oh, now I'm a fan of this and that. I'm not doing that. But
I can respect that.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Elder. If you have, okay, she's the chairman. She's clearly the one who the checks got her name at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. She's running things. But don't you have a board of people that you do have to answer to? That's number one. Number
her
two,
family.
Right. There are also people that are in the room that, like marketing people, financial people. All of these people are people that you have to answer to. With that being said, do I have to have all of these people that have opinions at some point? Don't I have to be able to have the final say so on something?
She does, but she don't want it. That's why she has this quote unquote brain trust, like the Rambuses and all these other folk. It's the Magic. Sometimes 5 or 6 people that in every major decision she goes to them. And again, she can't make a decision. Why? Because 2 people feel this way, 3 people feel like this, another person feel like this, and it's just so inconsistent with her.
Isn't that where me being the boss comes in? Okay, you said this. Okay, I'm the boss. This
again,
is what I think.
She should, but and again, this is why she's not respected. She can't do that because she knows she doesn't really know the game of basketball. She doesn't. So this is why I say, just do business. She know money. Just run the money side. And remember her brother in the beginning, what's his name? The one took it over and he was in charge of basketball. She didn't interfere with him. Everybody hated him because they didn't understand what was going on with the CBA and all the kind of moves he was making at that time. So they thought they were really, really bad moves. So you had the fans, and she can be swayed so easily. So she go to court, fire her brother, but now she's been in control. No one has ever really taken that seat with real authority. Remember, what's his name? Lonzo's dad. I forget the big man. I forget his name.
LeVar
Ball. Remember when he came out and he was like, Magic is a puppet. He ain't got no power. He found that out in the negotiations and everything they was doing with Lonzo. He's like, these people are puppets. They don't have any power to make any decisions. They just don't. So she gives them titles, but they don't have authority to make decisions. It's just like they're puppets. And then at the end of the day, you got to have somebody to blame. So it's going to either be the GM, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. So, I don't like that. That ain't good business. And that's why the Lakers, to me, have been extremely bad or inconsistent. The only great moment they had was in the bubble. That's
I'm just having a difficult time, Elder, with somebody that's been around the game for as long as she's been around and not understanding the game. I understand the business. Okay, sure, I get that part. But how from 1979 to not understand the game of basketball? And even if I don't understand the game, right? Let's say I don't understand the X's and O's. But why not put somebody in position that does? And knowing that I know the game enough to put somebody in position, that's what I feel like the disconnect.
I think part of it. I think part of it.
79. If I've been around that long, I do know the game. I'd like to think that I know something.
No, just because someone there don't mean they learn it. She has other aspects that she's doing. She's in the entertainment part of it. She's in the finance part of it. She's the smoozer, going in people's faces, all that. I don't, just because she there don't mean she understands the business of basketball. She don't understand, to me, the game and how it goes. And then see, her dad understood both. So he knew when to do this, when to be hard, when not to be hard, when to accept, when to move. They got so many leaks, and you can. And I hate to say this, and I know people going to jump
leaks and they count.
You can tell a woman's running this thing because nobody can keep their mouth shut.
How long has Dr. Bus been out the way?
13 since 13.
He passed in
13.
And if you go look,
he passed in 13. Yeah. When did he stop?
When did he stop over in 13? When you go look from 13 to 19 before LeBron came, they were the worst team in the NBA. If you add it up, they had the worst record in the NBA. Now they had that year LeBron got hurt. Then the next year they won. Other than that, what have we been? The best has been 7th. Think about it. The best we've been is 7th place. So there's where the mediocrity comes in. And again, it's being dictated by someone else. You can tell she's not making critical decisions. That's why I just came out.
I just want to say, I feel like the bigger problem is that a lot of it has been left to a brain trust, and there's not one sole person. I don't think it's because it's a woman. I think it's because she does not have the gall to take it by the reins. And I think that the biggest problem is when you have so many people in charge of X, Y, or Z, the clear vision for what's going to help them win basketball games and what will make them the most money isn't really aligned. I think the Lakers are probably like the biggest fan base in basketball, I would say. They still had many sellout games when they were awful. So I don't think that's the problem. I just think they have so many people trying to dictate what's what and who's who. And it's like a family-oriented type of business. So they're not going to favor a guy that might really know basketball over someone who somewhat knows it but is in touch with their family, right? That's going to be something different. And I kind of feel like that impacts how they've moved. I will say they've always had a good scouting department. They know how to scout talent and get those players in. It's just a matter of making the right front office overall decisions. I feel like they haven't really had that down pat for some time now.
4 coaches in 5 years.
Fellas,
Yeah.
I got to step in because Elder.
Okay. Unfortunately,
I didn't bring this up to talk about the dysfunctionalness of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Gotcha.
Or to talk about the chaotic and toxic ways, or the fact that you could tell that the franchise is being ran by a woman. I didn't bring it up to talk about those things.
All right.
Mars, I'm just reiterating something that was said previously. You weren't here. But anyways, Elder, I brought this up to actually take you back to the glory days.
Okay.
Jill, you remember these times. These were good times. You know, the Showtime Lakers and whatnot. You guys do know that it's a player that's getting his jersey retired.
Yes.
From the Lakers?
Michael Cooper.
Yeah.
Michael Cooper is?
Michael Cooper is getting – a lot of you young pups might not know. He was the defensive anchor. Well, one of the defensive anchors for the Showtime Lakers. He's going to be getting his jersey hung up in January. One of the best perimeter defenders of the 80s, 5-time champion, defensive player of the year, 8 all-league defensive teams, 5 of them being first team. How y'all feel about this?
Would it take 30, 35 years? Something like that?
I think he retired in 90.
Yeah.
Keep waiting.
Yeah, I think he retired in 89 or 90. That's when he retired, and he's getting his jersey retired. I mean, if you hear some people say it, this isn't good for the Lakers because what did he really do for them? But I'd like to think that an all-league defender for almost a decade on your crew. I mean, how many guys on your crew can say that they were an all-league defender for almost a decade? I mean, Jabbar wasn't an all-league defender I think Jabbar was an all-league defender for a decade, but that's it. Other than that, they haven't had any other guys like that. Now, when you think about retiring jerseys, you clearly you're thinking about a guy who's an all-time leading scorer. Michael Cooper is top 10 all-time in steals for the Lakers. I think he's top 5 all-time in games. He was definitely durable. I mean, Bird said that he's the most difficult guy that he had to deal with. So when you're talking about being an all-time great for the Lakers, I think that's the standing point for me. I mean, he made the all-league defensive team for a decade. I don't know if there's many defenders that the Lakers have had in their history that are better than him. I think that could constitute as being having your jersey retired.
And he was there for all 5 of their championships.
100% he was. All 5 of them.
They're not winning them
what
chips.
took so long.
Yeah, I agree with that, Big Ox. Because, again, I like that teams are broadening it out and showing guys that were instrumental in whatever role, because people want to put merit on things. Yeah, you get your guys that score, do all this stuff. They get the fame and all of that. Mm-hmm. But without these other guys, you're not going to get it done. Like, I don't have a problem with what they're doing with Udonis Haslem in Miami, things like that. I think guys, when they've been critical to your franchise and you don't get what you get without that guy, regardless of what his role is. Like guys like him, Derek Fisher. They didn't get it without Derek Fisher. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with you honoring guys like that were true to your franchise and knowing that without them, you don't get where you get. People say these guys are replaced. Oh, we could get anybody to do what Derek Fisher do. I disagree. You can't get anybody to do what Derek Fisher do. If you could, where they at? Where these dudes at? So I like that they're doing it, and I agree with Big Ox. What the hell took so long? Michael Cooper's an icon in the Lakers. He should have been had this, in my opinion.
And to compound your point, you talk about Derek Fisher. He actually came back and he won again with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that proves that no, you can't just go get anybody to do what I do. No, you can't.
I would put a guy like Robert Horry. He would be in the Hall of Fame for me. And I know folks say this, and that, but his contribution to every team he went to led to winning. At the end of the day, the game is still about winning. And to have, he got 7 chips? 7?
Yeah, 7.
And do it with multiple. I would put a guy like that in the Hall of Fame. To me, he's a Hall of Famer in my personal opinion. Because he came to a team, he took them to another level, and they won. It's just that simple.
To win 7.
Can't
You
to
on mute,
win
Mars.
7 on 3 different teams though, that shows like
Yeah.
I can hear you, Mars.
Yeah, you was
Still
on
can't hear
mute.
you, Mars.
Yeah, well, what I said was, and he was a really good player too. It's not like he was just along
Yes.
for the ride. Like,
Right.
He was a key
Thank
player
you.
for all of
Yes.
this.
He-
So it's not
But
like
how-
it's
he
not
was-
Patrick
even-
Lepore. Like he was playing.
And not
Good
only
player.
that, but like he was good. I think he was good all throughout. But like
Oh,
young Rob Horry though was nasty. Like
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's not
All
like
them
he was-
Alabama boys was nasty coming in back then. Him, McDyess, all them dudes was good, man. But
he wasn't getting dragged along. Like he was contributing.
he affected.
Wait, so for y'all, what's the criteria to be?
I was just about to ask that. That was right.
He affected winning.
going
That's
right.
why he deserves it, in my opinion.
I'm just asking because like there's a lot of players that like you can argue are not going to be as great as other players in the Hall of Fame. But what's the overall criteria for y'all? Like just basically being a part of teams that won, or you had to have a certain amount of elite seasons of play. That's my question about that.
I don't know if I really got a set criteria for the Hall of Fame to keep it real. Like I think there's different. I think it's a sliding scale. Some people are getting in the Hall of Fame that never won a championship. You know, some guys are getting in the Hall of Fame that got 3 or 4 rings. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's about production. I think we can jump around with criteria. You know a Hall of Fame guy when you see their career, when you see him.
I do gift it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I do gift it. I think when you're talking about Hall of Fame, I think you're talking about greatness. And when you're talking about greatness, you're talking about consistency. So, like, we can't do this once or twice. You have to do this for a long time. Whatever it is you do, you're a bucket getter. It has to be consistent. You're a defender. You have to be consistent. Winning definitely goes into that. So when you have guys that are all NBA performers, like I got a difficult time with the fact that Vince Carter, who played in 4 different decades, he played in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. He's only an All-Pro twice. I got a problem with that because that's telling me that in 22 years, you only elite twice. That's once every 10 years.
That's not
so
what
for
that
you,
tells
like the
you,
All
Tim.
NBA stuff matters in that.
Hey, that's what
not-
accolades tell you, man. That's
That's not what it tells you. That means he played with guys like Kobe Bryant.
It's a part
Paul
of it.
Pierce,
It's a part of it.
Dwayne Wade. But
and those guys passed him, Ox.
One
That's the
person's one person's greatness doesn't diminish another person's greatness.
Actually, it does. That's what competition is about.
It does
In
not.
fact.
If I play with Kobe Bryant and he's that great, that doesn't mean I'm not great. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like I can still be a Hall of Famer if I'm in the NBA at a time. Let's say I'm at a time where there's Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, Paul Pierce, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Manu Ginobili. That doesn't mean I'm not great. That means I'm at a time where it's a bunch of great dudes at the same time.
And I'm sorry, Elder.
Besides longevity, though, what would justify him being in there? I'm with that as well. You have to have a sustained greatness in something. And again, I'm talking about this, so I would say one of my criteria would be impact on winning. Because again, you play the game to win. That's why I want a guy like Robert Horry, because he had a long history of impacting winning everywhere he went. What winning did my man have that we were just talking about? Vince Carter. What winning did he impact? And then he has no accolades. See, there are definitely different categories. He wasn't the top of the league in what? He wasn't like a top scorer. He wasn't. What impact did he really have? He was a decent, good player, and he played for a long time. But what really and y'all can tell me what justifies
I'm not
being in the Hall of Fame.
What you doing is you letting him off the hook. Because now what you're telling me is you had all of these other great players. Well, that's what separates the great ones. Because with all of these guys around, this is where I am. That's why Kobe Bryant is where he is. That's why Dwayne Wade is where he is. Because even though all of these great players, I'm still making an all-league defensive team. I'm still making an all-pro team. I'm still a part of winning. Ox, you know that Vince Carter only been to the Eastern Conference Championship one time. He's with that Orlando team in 2009.
I got slight pushback for you, Chill.
If that's the case, then I'm happy that they're doing it how they're doing it now when it's positionless. Then it needs to be positionless, because I can't if I'm Paul Pierce and I'm in the NBA with Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, and whoever, you know what I'm saying, and that means that these two might be better than me. But let's say if I played 5 years before and I'm still as good and I'm the best in the league, I don't know if greatness should be on a scale of being compared to Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. You know,
greatness comes with.
I kind of get what you're saying. I kind of get what you're saying on that. Yeah,
I'm not making the case for Vince Carter to be in the Hall of Fame. What I'm saying is, just because you only have 2 All NBA doesn't mean you only have 2 elite seasons. That's just not how that works.
To me, I feel like the point here is like, sorry, you got to be great, right? My problem is the era that you play in. Every era has a different amount of super great players, right? I think what Ox is basically trying to say is if you are a great player, but Kobe and all these other players who are like a different level of great are there, that doesn't make you any less great. Because if I drop you in like the 80s, you are, oh, wow, he's a Hall of Fame great player. But that's because your talent transcends the other talent at that time. That doesn't mean you're not great, though.
Y'all trying to give out participation awards. I'm not.
No. I'm
100% against.
Settle down.
I want to be clear. I want to be very, no. I want to be very clear. The last thing I'm trying to do is give out participation awards, Elder.
That's what y'all.
I just want to be clear. I just want to be clear.
Y'all are saying. I'm telling you.
If it was up to me, Vince Carter and T-Mac would not be in the Hall of Fame. If it was up to me, I'm not doing participation award shit.
If you're going to the Hall of Fame, I'm
just being honest with you.
Hold on a second. If you go into a place like the Hall of Fame, which is the greatest of the greatest, you can still categorize them and put them in certain quote unquote rooms, right? What room this dude going in? Again, you play the game to win. He's not having an impact when it comes to the game. He's not having an impact when it comes to winning. And we can't put him in because where's the accolades? He ain't no scoring champ.
That's the problem.
He ain't no MVPs. He ain't rookie of the year. He ain't steals. He has no impact accolade wise. So where I'm putting him in the room, I can't even put him in there like I would with a Robert Horry or one of these dudes. I can at least put them in the intangible.
So is Robert Horry a better basketball player than Vince Carter?
Yes. Do you know why?
Okay.
Do you know why?
All right. See what I'm saying?
You want to know why? I'm not going to just say it. I'll give you. I'm not going to say it. I will give you the reason why he's a better player than Vince Carter to me. You want to know why? He impacts winning. He impacts winning, and he can adjust to whatever role he needed to adjust to impact the winning. He could do it on the defensive end. He could do it on the offensive end. He made big-time shots. He had heart. He was never afraid of the moment. I would rather have a Robert Horry than a Vince Carter. I would rather have a Robert Horry than a T-Mac because I want to win. If I'm going to play the game, I want to win.
So you put accolades over just who the better player is, though.
But why is T-Mac being put in the Vince Carter category?
Hey, Gifted, that's your name. I'm sorry. Gifted.
Yeah.
I didn't say one accolade. I said impact on winning. I didn't give no accolades. I gave you his impact.
No, but you mentioned that you mentioned that.
I didn't mention Robert Horry's accolades at all. What accolades did I give?
Hold on, y'all.
I'm talking about his impact on winning in terms of titles, having that to his name, whereas the other guy didn't have that.
He didn't because Vince couldn't adjust. Vince couldn't get over the top. Vince couldn't rise to the occasion. Vince folded in the most pressure moments in his life in the game. I'm not taking a guy like that over a guy that steps up and gets it done and do whatever I need. I don't care if it's a block shot. I don't care if it's diving on the ball on the ground for the ball. I don't care if it's hitting a 3 at the buzzer. This man did all of that, and he did it like Chill was saying. He did it consistently, no matter where he was at for a long period of time. He don't have 1 or 2 chips, y'all. This man got 7.
Right, Elder. But
give me Robert Horry all day.
What you said is 2 different things. That's not what I asked you.
I don't feel like those are the same.
Real quick, Gifted, because I'm with you on that. There's guys that I can see. Okay, it's fine. Like for instance, I think Allen Iverson is better than Chauncey Billups, but I'm on record saying give me Chauncey. So yeah, I get what you're saying. You would rather have Robert Horry, but you can't convince me that he's better than Vince Carter, right?
I ain't trying to convince you. You asking who would I want?
I'm not
if
asking
I'm building a team,
I'm not asking you who
I'm taking
you want.
Robert Horry over Vince Carter.
I'm not asking you who you want. I'm asking you who's better.
I'm telling you, team is not about just.
Who's better, Elder? Who's better?
I just told you, Robert Horry is.
Okay, fine. Robert Horry.
He's more versatile. He can adjust better. He's a better team player. It's a team game. I'm not now. If you ask me who's going to win 1-on-1, I may say Vince. If you ask me who's the better dunker, I may say Vince. But when it comes to playing on a basketball team, I'm taking Robert Horry. He's a better basketball player to me than Vince Carter because basketball is more than scoring.
That's the question I'm asking you.
Okay, so how many players would you take him over then?
Real quick.
Robert,
Let me get back to the original point. We were talking about. I don't like that y'all talking about accolades that have to get you to the Hall of Fame because once again, previously to this, I was more so talking to Chill on this. You can't. You said that he only had 2 elite seasons because he only went all NBA 2 times.
Twice.
That's not and that's what I'm saying. Like that because Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson and Paul Pierce, these guys being
and Ray Allen
these guys because these guys might get that all NBA does not mean that you're not elite. That's my only point.
Right. I could get with that.
Like, all NBA awards cannot determine whether or not you were elite.
Right. You can be playing you could definitely be playing at that level.
I'll give you a current example of somebody that you're talking about. Go to Denver.
Okay.
Their guard. He plays on an elite level, especially when you get into the playoffs, and he affects winning. Jamal. Yeah, he ain't never won nothing. He ain't got no real accolades. I get that, but he's affecting winning. He's stepping up to the plate when it's needed the most. He's affecting winning on his team, and he's won the chip by doing it. He's advanced greatly in the playoffs by doing it. He ain't never made an all-star team. He plays on an elite level when it's necessary. That's the kind of guy I'll take over a guy like Vince Carter. I'd take Jamal Murray over Vince Carter because I know what I'm going to get. I know what I'm getting from Vince because he played 22 years. That's not a small sample size. I seen what I got. I love Vince Carter as a person, right? I ain't dogging him that way. As a player, I don't want guys like that. Those are empty stats in my opinion.
Can I get a little clarification?
Can I ask one question?
I just want to get a little clarification real quick.
Okay.
Because
Jokic is their best player.
Because I think you answer questions a lot how I do. A lot of times I'm like somebody asks me who's better. I'm like, yeah, well, I would rather have him. Is that so? Are you saying like whenever you say like I would rather have him, is that who you're saying is the better player?
I said Robert Horry
he thinks that's the better player.
Is a better player than Vince Carter. That's my personal opinion because I can do so much more with Robert Horry than I can with Vince Carter. Mm-hmm. He's a better all-around player, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, who's the better scorer? Vince Carter. But when you add the other stuff in, it's going to be Robert Horry. He's a better shooter. He's a better clutch time guy. He's a better defender. It's going to be Robert Horry. So he may lead in a category or two, but Robert Horry all around is going to be better than him. And again, I would prefer, we went through this on the Olympics this year, right? They wanted guys that would accept their roles, not one-on-one players. All the guys they gave issues to were these one-on-one players. It's a team game, and they pick guys that fit the role of a team more than guys that are individually great players, but they don't fit the role because I don't need you to get out there and shake and bake in a 40-minute game and the court is smaller and they don't have illegal defense and you ain't finna get off. I need guys that can move the ball, cut, play good defense, set down. That's why they did what they did.
Yeah, but just because you do that at a high level doesn't make you better than another individual player, though. No. That's my only problem with that, right? I get you bringing up Jamal Murray. Right? That's a great point, right? Because he doesn't have any accolades, but we all know he has a high impact on winning. But no one would say something like because he's had more impact on winning than maybe James Harden because he actually won it. That doesn't make him a better player than James Harden. We know James Harden is a better player than him, right? Even though James Harden has not won.
To Harden's game that makes him better, even though he hadn't won. You got to add everything in there. When you're talking to Vince, he gave me Vince and he gave me Horry. When I look at Horry's total game, it's better than Vince's total game. Now, I can't say that about Jamal Murray over Harden. I can't because Harden didn't learn how to play D and all this kind. And he's a better passer. I can justify Harden being a better player than him, even though old boy impacts winning more than Harden does. It's not just black and white.
I think where the divide comes in is Robert Horry is better at his job than Vince was, even though I think Vince was a better player overall because Vince was put in a role where he had to be the number one guy. Robert Horry never did that. Robert Horry was never put in a space where he had to be the guy where we're building this unit around him. We're going to go as Robert Horry goes. No, Robert Horry was a role player. They're all role players, but Robert Horry had a specific role. He was a defender. He was a solid defender. He was a situational guy more than anything. Vince Carter wasn't that. Vince Carter was the All-American coming out of college who we're building our unit around you. You're going to be our starting two guard. You're going to be the best scorer on our team. You're going to be the better defender. You're going to be in the mold of the next Jordan, that kind of guy. You're going to be that. Did he excel at that role? No, he didn't excel at that role like we all thought he would. That does not negate that he is overall a better. I think he's overall a better basketball player than Robert Horry. Robert Horry was better in his role than Vince Carter. I don't know if Vince Carter would have been able to just knock down open shots late in games if that was his only job. I don't know if Vince Carter was able to slow down Ray Allen and just do that. I don't know if he was able to do that. And the reason why is because that wasn't his job. His job was to do a multitude of things because he was the man on the team. And because he was the man on the team, there was more asked of him. Now with him, Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen, Tracy McGrady, Ox, I don't want to give him a pass on that because I was expected to be nice like that, and he wasn't. And I think that you're giving him a pass on that off the strength that those guys were better because they surpassed him. Wade came in the league 5 years after Vince Carter. He became better than him. Bryant was in the league 2 years before him. He became better than him. All of these, Ray Allen showed up 3 years before Vince Carter. He became better than him because not only did they impact winning, but they also did a lot of different things better than Vince. When the lights
I'm not trying to give him a pass, Jill. I'm just not trying to be an accolade merchant.
I'm see, and that's the thing. I
don't remember us naming really any accolades, but
that's the difference with me. I mean, I think
he would need that to get in, and he don't have it. It's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm not mistaken,
he would need that to get in.
Vince like an 8 or 9 time All-Star, something like that. I think he's an 8 or 9 time All-Star. He made the All-Pro
and that's
team.
pretty much the only accolade he got.
I care about that stuff, Ox, because that's what I feel like. Even when you're playing at that level, right? Even when you're playing at that level. She played at that level. I think she made the All-League defensive team like 3 or 4 times or something like that. Or he made the All-Star team 3 or 4 times. When you're playing at that level, now you're compared to those guys who are actually all pros. You're compared to those guys. And why aren't you there? Well, the reason why I'm not there is because I'm not doing as much as this guy. And I got to do more.
This is what I would say. Because we're talking about Hall of Fame. He's in it, right? So it don't matter. They've already voted him in. Tell me, like, if you classifying different rooms in the Hall of Fame, who's in the same room with Vince? You tell me the people that are in the Hall of Fame.
Flip that around, Elder. Which room is he in with the other guys?
Yeah,
who's in the same room with Vince?
I don't know who's in the room with a guy like Vince.
He ain't in the same room with Jay. He ain't in the same room with Bryant. He ain't in the same room with Jerry West. He ain't in the same room with Oscar Rob. He ain't in that room.
Yeah, we don't need to name champions. We can go to all the guys that have made it that haven't won champions.
Is Vince Carter in the same
room with Barkley? He ain't in the same room with Karl Malone. He ain't in the room with these dudes.
Mars, is Vince Carter in the same room with Iceman?
Oh, hell no. That's Mars' question.
I don't think so.
I don't think so neither. Is he in the same room with Neek?
No.
No,
but I wouldn't put Vince. I would if I had control of the Hall of Fame. Vince wouldn't be in it. But
I agree. I wouldn't have many.
But I wanted to ask before we get into super chats. Elder, is Jamal Murray better than Penny Hardaway?
Excuse me. Now, before you answer that question, Elder,
that's funny. I know it is coming because we had this conversation last night.
Now, before you answer that question, Elder, I want you to rewind and remember who Penny was.
No, I know. Mars is going off of. I had the same conversation last night. He must have heard it. So I have Penny Hardaway over Jamal Murray. Yeah, but Penny Hardaway affected winning. They did get to the championship. Both of them in the same category to me. They both got injuries that's hurting both of their careers right now, in my opinion. But as an overall player, I would take Penny Hardaway over him because of his size, his versatility. One of the things he said last night, I think it was Ticket, he said, oh boy, Murray steps up in the highest points and gets it done, and Penny don't. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Penny was killing in the finals that he made it to. No, he wasn't. Jamal did better until we pulled the stats. Jamal was 21, 10, and 6 on 45% shooting and 39 from 3. Penny was 25.5, 8 and 5 on 50% shooting and 45 from 3. He was killing in that finals. Shaq got 30, but
younger Shaq. He didn't have
they both were young. He didn't have prime Shaq on his team. Yeah,
right. Penny himself was in like year
2. It was only year 2, wasn't it? Yeah, Penny was in year 2. So they were definitely both young, but Penny stepped up. Shaq got destroyed by. Now I know his numbers look halfway decent, but if you watch that series, Olajuwon, man, he fed that book a baby, bro. He was treating him like he was an infant. I mean, it was embarrassing some of the stuff that was going on, and that's why they swept him. But again, Penny showed that he could step up. He didn't have the longevity. I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame either, though, because he don't have the longevity. The injuries and all that killed his career. It just did. But no, I would take Penny. If you give me both prime, blah, 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 I'm taking Penny just because he's bigger, more versatile, and I think I can do more. I think he can score just as good as him. He can pass better than him. I think he rebounds better than him. I think he's a better defender than Jamal Murray. So I would take Penny over him.
Yeah. Does Robert Horry have more elite seasons of play than Penny Hardaway?
Penny Hardaway, elite seasons. They got different roles. Again, like what's his name was saying.
Yeah.
Different roles. I would say he does for the simple fact any season that he contributed and helped them win, that's an elite season for me. He fulfilled his role and he got it done and they won. So I would say yes. How many years did Penny even play? 7, 8? I mean, how many?
He played for a while, but anything like
I give Penny 3 elite.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of healthy years, man. He was a great player. Just the injuries, bro. I mean, same with the brother up in Portland. What's his name?
Brandon
Roy.
Another great player, bro. Just injuries got him. Kawhi on that. Now, Kawhi got some accolades and he don't won, but Kawhi, I would love to see what this man's career could have been if he didn't have that bad knee. I really would. Because that brother's a machine. I mean, he'll dice you up. So got to give him credit.
Yeah, I got to read super chats because Ron was here and it disrupted everything. So before I do that, I want to say for my Hall of Fame personally, I'd be very strict with it. Like I don't think there would be many Hall of Famers. For me, it's like if you define an era, that's what a Hall of Famer is to me. So like going all the way back is like George Mikan, Hall of Famer, Bob Pettit, Bill Russell, Wilt, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Elgin Baylor, Rick Barry, Kareem, Dr. J, Magic, Bird, Moses Malone.
Only Willis Reed out of there. He was
Willis Reed. Yeah, Willis Reed. So Moses Malone. Then you got Hakeem, MJ, David Robinson, number 32, Charles Barkley.
West Unseld too.
He got to get in there. Yeah, West got to get in there.
He ain't in my Hall of Fame. Kobe, Shaq, Duncan, Dirk, KG.
Didn't West win MVP as a rookie?
Yes, he did. And he won Finals MVP in 78.
Which he shouldn't have won the Finals MVP.
He's still not in my Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And then LeBron, Steph, KD.
Miles, those people that you just talked about in the 2000s, you said Bryant, Shaq, Duncan, Dirk, Steve Nash.
Dirk gets in?
Yeah,
I ain't say Steve Nash.
You didn't bring up Steve Nash, but I like to think Steve Nash.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
In the 2000s, let's see. In terms of elite players, that's probably where we are. And from 2000 to 2009, like that was that era. So, Mark, when you're talking about Hall of Famers, because again, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, which bothers the hell out of me because it's the only Hall of Fame that doesn't have a pro Hall of Fame. Every other one, pro football, pro baseball, pro hockey Hall of Fame, pro basketball.
It's just everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an accumulation. Right. So, Mars, when you're talking about your Hall of Fame, like what's the criteria for the guys? Is it the best of the best, or is it tiers? Like, okay, we got a Hall of Fame. But okay, these guys go in this room, these guys go in this room, and then these guys go in this room.
It's just like the best guys of the era, in my opinion. That's the Hall of Fame. It's not. I'm not having no one
role players in there.
A role player would never touch the Hall of Fame for me. You could win 19 rings. No, like you have to be one of the best players in the world. That's what you have to be to me. And there's guys who I missed out when I listed that thing because that was off the top of my head. I'm not saying those are the only Hall of Famers, but I'm saying off the top of my head, it's,
like Garnett.
Yeah, it's that caliber of guy. Like if you say Kawhi Leonard, I'm like, yeah, sure. James Harden, sure. Like Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, sure.
Giannis, whatever.
Giannis. I'm not saying those are the only names. I'm saying those are like those names. That caliber of guy are the ones who I say a Hall of Famer. So Vince Carter, no, he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer to me. Walt Frazier, no, he's not a Hall of Famer to me.
Wow.
In the eight.
Charles Barkley?
I said Charles Barkley. I put John Stockton in there because I'm gonna be honest. You lead the NBA in a category all time. I think you have to be a Hall of Famer. Like you lead in points, rebounds, assists, steals, block. Like you have to be a Hall of Famer. In my opinion.
Two, don't he?
Yeah. So him. So like that's what I would consider a Hall of Famer. I'm not with like Casey Jones being in the Hall of Fame, even though his is more coaching. But like that's not a Hall of Fame to me. So that's how I view it. But it is what it is. I mean, shout out to everyone who makes the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's a lifetime achievement award. Shout out to you guys. But
Larry on the way.
He probably will make it. Yeah. MTHJ301 said Zion Williamson weight loss, and then Alan R said new offseason skinny Zion pics drop. Have you guys seen the picture of Zion?
Yes, I have. He looks crazy. I really hate falling for it because we've seen this before many times where like, oh, that picture looks great, and then the season starts and it's like that's not what he looked like in the picture. So I'm gonna wait, but he looks very, very different. He looks very closer to his weight in Duke, I would say, which was a dominant Zion season, by the way.
I don't believe pictures in 2024, man. AI.
I feel you. I feel you, bro.
I don't believe videos, pictures, nothing.
He did have on a black shirt.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. His neck looked long to me too. I'm gonna just point that out.
It looks skinny. The neck looks skinny.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, he did look skinny. We'll see if he keeps if Zion is in shape to start the season.
All NBA.
I tell you what I don't like. They already saying they're going to play him a ton at 5. I don't like that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that. No.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all.
I don't know who else they're going to play outside of their draft pick. Yves Missy, I believe, Mars. I forgot it.
Yeah, Yves Missy.
Yeah, him.
They said
they got Daniel Tice. They got Daniel Tice.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I like Daniel Tice.
I like Tice. I like Tice.
I like him.
I don't know
small
if he's
five,
a starting center, but
Yeah.
I'd rather have him coming off the bench, but I mean, that's all you got. That's what you got. I don't like them saying we're going small ball and we're going to play a lot of Zion at 5. Power, a point center, I guess. I don't get it. That's not. That's not.
They drafted some other big in the second round a couple years ago. He was in the summer league. I can't remember his name. Carlo something. He looks okay in the summer league. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but that's why I'm not really high on the Pelicans. I'm not high on the Pelicans because of that 5 situation. But Zion, I'm excited to see what he looks like.
Yeah, I want to see what he's gonna do.
I want to see what the Pelicans do as a whole team because they have a weird fit to me with DeJounte, BI, and Zion. I wonder how that works.
I'm not high on it.
But I don't see the issue. I'm very high on the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying?
I see it.
If they got like so, Daniel Tice might not be a great starting 5 man, but for the time being, you're playing. You know what I'm saying? All they need is a 5 that can rebound, protect the rim, run the floor. That's it. They got so many pieces over there. The Pelicans are a dangerous squad. I got them top 4 in the West for sure this year.
If it was Larry Nance, I would maybe have a bit more hope, but Jesus, I don't know, man.
I like the team. I like the makeup. I just don't like the schemes that I'm hearing what they're trying to do. Because one thing I know about DeJounte, he's way better when the ball's in his hand. He ain't been that great when the ball's not in his hand. So if you're going to have Zion with the ball and DeJounte not, I'm not sure how effective he's going to be.
Be out with the ball too, I guess.
Had him in darn in Atlanta because the ball stayed in Trey's hand. DeJounte shows when Trey went down, look how great he played because the ball was in his hand. So if you're not committing to put the ball in his hand, I don't know how great your team going to be. I just got to see. They got to prove it. They got the talent. They got the depth. They got it all. Get a center, and they're scary. They definitely are. Because when they're healthy, they're pretty much a top 3 team in the West. That's how they've been when they're healthy. So, yeah.
I think for me, Trey Murphy and Herb Jones need to start. But because B.I. is still there, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, Trey will probably come off the bench. Herb has to start. He has to. So.
Herb got to start to me.
Yeah, Trey will probably come.
Can you move? Can you even move Bi right now?
I mean, they tried to. They can't. So, I get it.
I don't see a team want to take him because he's demanding a full extension, max extension, man.
I mean, but that's the problem though, because if they don't trade him and he walks for nothing, you lost the asset for literally nothing. At some point, if you're not going to pay him, you got to trade him, or you lose the asset for absolutely nothing, which is worse probably.
I don't know if they think Trey Murphy can replace him anyway. But Dante Bryant said, "Who's you guys' top 10 point guards going into next year?" And also, don't sleep on Scoot. But
he ain't top 10. I can tell you that.
I'm very sleep on Scoot. Sadly, he'll be good though.
Somebody wake me up. So.
Anyone have a quick fire top 10 point guards?
I don't. I'll let one of y'all do that.
Yeah.
They don't even have point guards anymore. Let's call it lead guards. They don't even have point
Sure,
guards.
lead guard, smallest
Let's call
player
them
on the
lead
team,
guards.
whatever you want to call
Let's
it.
put your top 10.
Luka, Shea, Steph, De'Aaron, Trey, Ja. Who else is there?
That's 6.
I'm forgetting. Throw Dame in there too.
De'Aaron Fox, we ain't say yet.
There you go.
He said Fox.
Jalen Brunson for sure.
That's 8.
No Harden.
Tyrese Maxey,
Darius Garland, James Harden.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Halliburton.
Tyrese, there you go. There you go.
You say John Morant or no?
He said
Morant.
Okay.
See, there we go. That's a quick fire 10. Hopefully before the season we do something like actually in depth.
Somebody said Russ in the chat. That's funny.
Maybe Russ.
Russell Stanston. Only run Russ.
This is a question more for Ox because he's the KG stand up here. Antoine said, which KG would look better? KG's offense in D'Antoni's system or KG's defense in the triangle? And then KG overall.
What you mean KG overall?
That's easy.
Like, where would he be a better player? KG in the triangle or KG in D'Antoni's in D'Antoni's system? Where would he be a better player?
Anything but D'Antoni.
Here you go, hating, man.
Anything but D'Antoni.
That's a Hall of Fame coach right there. You hating, but it's cool.
Oh wow.
Amari looks so good over there with Phoenix. I would like to see that. I would like to see KG over there, running that style because he's, his defense wouldn't be diminished. He would still be a great defender. So I'll be cool with that. That's fine. That's exciting.
Exactly. They win a chip. Pirate asked me to give the people my American accent. I don't have one, unfortunately. Cultured Bandit said, if KD got traded to the Knicks rather than the Nets, how do you think his career would have went? Do you think they would have won a championship? So he's talking about the 2019 offseason.
He didn't get traded to the Nets. He went to the Nets.
No, sign and trade. D'Angelo Russell went to Golden State.
He picked, but the difference is that KD he picked the Nets. So if he picks the Knicks, that means that they don't.
Kyrie's there too.
Yeah. That's
does Kyrie come to the Knicks too?
They were together, remember?
They were a duo. Yeah, they were a duo.
Yep. So they got Kyrie too. I think they might have won a chip.
They would have won in Brooklyn if James Harden ain't got hurt. But
I think they might have won a chip because you still have my man that's there now,
Possibly.
the coach, right? Who? Because he's the coach, right? When the hard.
At that time, was he the coach in Minnesota?
When did he come?
Who are we talking about?
The coach they have now, the Knicks.
I
think he
2 years ago.
Was he not in Minnesota?
Yeah, he was. He was in Minnesota in 19. Yeah, he was.
Who was the coach? Anybody remember who the Knicks coach was then?
Was that not the?
They've had 5. They had 5 different coaches. They had.
Wasn't Derek Fisher? No.
Was that not the year they had
Hornacek? They had. It might have been Fizdale.
It could have been Fizdale.
Was that year? Fizdale year?
He got fired pretty quickly, so
they had to get rid of him. That was David Fizdale. They said they had to get rid of him.
Okay.
But if they'd have brought in the current coach and had them with those guys, they could have won.
Is Fizdale still in Phoenix with Bud, or did he leave with Vogel?
Oh, I don't know.
Sure. I think Fizdale's in Milwaukee.
That's actually a good question.
He's in Milwaukee now.
He's either in Milwaukee or here in Phoenix.
What's their coach? I don't forget.
He was just in Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
They said Somebody said Hornacek was there.
He's on. It says he's on the Suns on the internet. It says he's on the Suns.
So he's still with the Suns.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think if they had
right now.
the current Knicks coach, if they would have had him, and he's got Kyrie, he's got KD, and then the pieces that they put around, they could have won a chip. Yeah.
Elder, do you remember the Knicks? They were a dumpster fire with gasoline.
They were turning around.
Awful.
They were turning around though.
Derek Fisher, Jeff Hornacek,
again,
Fizdale.
They were turning around.
They had 5 straight, 5 of them, 5 straight 50-loss seasons. 5 of them.
They were turning around though, and I think those stars there would have made them turn around even faster because you see a window. You see a window there. I can't knock the moves the Knicks have made in the last 5 years, y'all. 4 or 5 years.
They got Thibodeau in the 2021 season.
Everything since then, the Knicks have made good decisions. From that point on, the Knicks have been good.
Yes.
So imagine those guys going. They go sign
agree.
5-year deals in 19. Thibodeau would have been their coach at 21. They might have won in 22 or 23. They might have. They might have had a good team. I like what the Knicks have done, and I've been hard on the Knicks front office, but not lately because their moves are getting it done. Their moves are making it happen.
Does Fizdale keep that? Does Fizdale keep that ship afloat?
Got to get him gone. He got to get out.
That first year with KD out with the Achilles, that just doesn't count. That year is just
so the
ignore that year. We just scratched that year. We just scratched.
So we should start at 2020 then, which was
2020 is the best time.
That was Tibbs' first season. That means we don't get Zach. That means we don't get Julius Randle neither.
Oh no,
that's not a bad loss.
You don't need Julius Randle. You don't need it.
I'm gonna tell you where they really missed was Kevin Knox.
Oh, that pick?
Nah, that was a miss.
The Ntilikina pick wasn't great.
Yeah, because I thought Kevin Knox was. I
I
thought he was going to be what they thought he was going to be.
I did too. He's one of the few Kentucky busts.
You guys believed? Oh, okay.
I did. Yeah, he's one of the few Kentucky busts. Most of the time, if you're a lottery pick from Kentucky, you do pretty good in the league. Yeah. So he was one of the
Brandon Garbage.
They've only had a couple recently to me.
Well,
is Knox in the league? Is he still in the league?
He was in Detroit last year.
Okay.
He played summer league for the
still got a job.
He was bad in Detroit, bro. Good lord.
I think he played summer league. I think he played summer league for the Warriors. So
yeah, I drunk that Kool-Aid. I thought he was going to be a decent. I didn't think he was going to be no all-star or nothing, but I thought he was going to be a good contributing player. I thought he was going to be good. Yeah.
Oh well, it doesn't work out for everyone, but hopefully he can stick around in the league. But Alan R asked,
it worked out for him, Morris. He's still in the NBA.
Yeah, he still got a job.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, hopefully he can stick around. But Alan R said, "Is Year 6 Luka clear of Year 6 Harden? Year 6 Harden, I want to say is 2015.
Clear of him?
Yeah.
Year Harden led the league in scoring.
Let me just count 6 years. 1, 2, 3.
That was when
2015. 2015. They went to the conference finals. They lost to the Warriors in that year. Harden was second in MVP. If anyone wondering, he averaged 27, 6, and 7 that year. Shot 38% from 3, 44% from the field, 87% from the line.
He's definitely
all NBA first.
Alan, look, first of all, Alan, all right, send some better questions to that, bro. Don't nobody care about.
Send some better questions to comment.
We appreciate the super chat, though. Thank you, bro.
Appreciate the super chat.
I think I'm gonna answer his question though. I think Luka's gonna clear that. I do. I think Luka's gonna clear that. Yeah.
Brax the Bandit said peak August chill, heartbroken. But anyways, if you switch GOAT arguments to BOAT arguments, greatest of all time arguments to best of all time arguments, which players take the biggest jump? So basically, legacies don't exist. Just who's the best players ever, and then who has the biggest difference between their legacy and how good they are as a player. Who has the biggest difference?
Karl Malone, Tracy McGrady.
Where would they be? Like, what realm of player are they in? As basketball players.
I think Karl Malone might get in that in those top 10 talks.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else have any other names?
I just when you do stuff like that, to me, you try to take away from the game. It's certain things in the game that contribute to you being one of the greatest of all times. And when you say, well, just best, now we're going off of what someone believes makes a player better than another player. Because just because a guy, I'll give a quick example. A guy that can score 25 every night, I don't think he's a better player than a guy that may get me 20 every night, but he can play lockdown, elite defense as well. I would rather have that guy. I think that guy's a better player. He's the best player in my opinion. So, but it makes it so arbitrary. It makes it so open because now it's just your opinion of what you think a better player is. That's why people giving me grief. They look at Vince and they see his game and they see how many points he scored. And he was a lead dog, which he shouldn't have been. He should have been a more of a 2 or a 3, honestly. And they might have won something. They'll look at that and say, man, Vince is way better than him. I don't think so. Because I want players that are going to help me win. So I want to win.
I've always thought it was double talk, to be honest with you, Elder, because the guys that we talk about when we talk about accolades, like the guys that don't have them, if they had them, that's the first thing that people would bring up. So
absolutely.
I've always thought that logic was always, for me, it was always double talk, always. So the quote unquote better basketball player I mean, what does that mean? Okay, you better. I think Vince Carter is a better basketball player than Robert Horry. Okay, sure. I think he's a better basketball player. But then we leave out stuff like, all right, what does your handle lead to? What does your jump shot lead to? What does your transition game lead to? That leads to production. What does that production lead to? That production leads to the level of play that you're at, which equals accolades. That's it's not just, yo, you got a nice jump shot. All right, well, where we going with that? No, you really nice with the ball. Okay, where we going with that? No, you're a great finisher at the rim. All right, where we going with that? What does that mean? That you're a better fit? I never understood that stuff. That stuff. And on top of that, I've seen better basketball players get outplayed. I say this millions of times. Chauncey Billups is not a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant. He did outplay him in the finals, though. Yes, he did.
0-4. I just think it takes away, and it's almost like, let's just make what it seemed to me is trying to be done is let's just make this even playing field to guys that, like, let's diminish winning. Let's diminish accolades. And I don't want to do that because the game that's a part of the game. We're trying to change history. Guys get to a certain point in a certain level because of what they have done and produced. That's why they're there. And now we want to give guys credit that can entertain us, and we think his skills are better, but he couldn't translate those skills into the things that made the game what the game is. And
I feel like accolades are a part of the game, but what I don't like about them is it makes people sometimes think, well, because this guy has more, he's a better player, and that's just not what it is. I think that elite seasons speak more volumes to me because I've seen guys where they had an elite season. They were better than another player, but another player was ranked over them by the media. That doesn't mean that that's true. Who had more elite seasons speaks more volumes overall to me. We saw where because Jokic and also Joel Embiid could not be on the same first team, one of them had to go to the second team where Jason Tatum is over them, where Giannis is over them because they classify as forwards and not bigs, knowing for the entire season, the two best players were pretty much those two guys for the regular season. That's why I don't like the first team, this, that. It helps you see, okay, yeah, he was playing at this level, sure. But sometimes there are other guys where this guy was on the second team, but he led the league in scoring. He was good at X, Y, or Z. I don't think it gives you the proper context to evaluate players. I hate that, honestly, because people will use accolades for their entire argument instead of saying, how good was he for the entire season? What did he specifically do? How much better was his team when he was on the floor at his best? That gets all thrown out the window because this guy has 2 or 3 more first teams compared to this guy. That's why I don't like them personally. They don't tell you the full story if you're not really watching the games.
Well, see,
and accolades can be skewed too. They can be skewed.
But that's the thing, though, Gifted. When you're talking about accolades, like for a season, okay, that's exactly what those accolades were for, right? Okay, I made the All-Pro team because that's what I did that season. Now, did I play at that level the year that I didn't make the All-Pro team? Maybe, but I wasn't as good the year that I was second team All-Pro in 12 than I was in 13. So the fact that I made the All-Pro team, the fact that I made the All-League defensive team, I'd like to think that matters in the aspect when we're comparing players off the strength that me doing what I was doing, I played at a higher level. I'm not just saying, yo, you were an All-League defender. Okay, well, during that time,
chill stuff froze.
Oh, got cooked, unfortunately.
I'd like to think.
Oh, he's back.
Oh,
Wait.
Okay, he's fighting through the screen. I'm
sorry.
There we go.
I'll bring up James for an example. Like, for example, James is an All-League defender in 2011. Well, we have examples of him doing that. Well, he shut down the league MVP in the Eastern Conference Championship. He played at an All-League defensive level during the regular season, and then it translated into the playoffs. If you bring up a guy being an All-League defender as a 2-time All-League defender, trying to match him to an 8-time All-League defender, and you're able to give examples of those 8 years, like Michael Cooper dealing with Bird all of those years, like Michael Cooper dealing with Jordan, like Michael Cooper dealing with Joe Dumars, then I think those two things don't match. If you're bringing up accolades. Now, if you want to talk about these guys as defenders, now you got to bring up specifics.
Well, yeah, but I say everything, right? Mainly because there's a strong chance, right? In 3 years, people will be like, who's a better player between Jason Tatum or maybe Joel Embiid, right? Tatum is going to have more first teams, but no one in their right mind would say Tatum was a better player than him during the regular season.
Yeah.
During the regular season, Mars, no one would say that. During the regular season, Tatum has not been a better performer than Joel Embiid. No, he is not.
Right.
But he has more first teams, right? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Because that 1 year where Jokic is first team over Joel Embiid, but Tatum is first team or whatever, people will think, oh, well, that means Tatum was first team over Joel Embiid, meaning he was a better player. No, that's not how that works. That's why they switched it to any position now, because they realized that, I think.
I hate that too, by the way, because, I mean,
it don't make no sense to me.
I hate the positionless thing because as a five-man, it matters that I'm better than you. That's what a competition is. It matters at the lead guard spot. It matters at the 2-guard spot that, you know, like you mentioned earlier, Gifted, with Vince Carter and Dwayne Wade and Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant. That matters that I'm making that matters that I'm an all-NBA performer during that era because I'm outplaying some of these guys, if not all of these guys. Mm-hmm. That matters.
It means more to be better than everybody than it is just people in my position. I don't want to be compared to them. I want to be compared. I don't. It's not enough to be compared to just my position. Like if I can only get one of these 2 spots or 3 spots for all NBA, but I'm a top 15 player in the NBA, that's crazy. Why should I not be all NBA because there's 2 or 3 guys better at my position, but I'm still better than most everybody else. There might only be 7 people in the NBA better than me, but 3 of them play my position. So now I'm not all NBA.
Yes, because that's what you got to handle first.
But they switched that, right?
They
switched it now.
They already changed that. So because
rightfully so.
Well, the money's tied to it. Remember, these guys' contracts are tied to these accolades now. So they had to switch it. And you just vote the best of the best is what you got to do. I don't care if you got 5 centers on there now. But when your money's tied to it, they had to switch that. And again, that's just the direction that basketball is going now. It's really more financial entertainment first than just actual, basketball and winning and all of that. I don't like that aspect of it. I mean, I still like watching the game. I still think they compete. I would love for them to be able to play just defense on the international level, maybe. You know what I mean? I don't like this can't touch defense in the NBA, but I still do like watching it, and I want them to compete more. I do. I think some of these younger guys, I'm happy about them. The younger guys, to me, they're really about this competing. They are. So I like the direction we going with the Edwards and Shays and even Tatum's, and I like the younger guys. I think they're competing a little bit more. So I don't think we're going to have a bunch of all the teaming up and doing all that as we had for a nice little decade here. So it's going to be what it's going to be. But I'm excited about this year, especially the West. I mean, you got, 14 teams competing in the West? I only know Portland, the only one that ain't trying right now. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, no gimme games. I like it. I mean, it just makes it more exciting. You come in there sleeping, you're going to get blown out one night by somebody. So I'm looking forward to the season starting.
Speaking of one of the teams in the West, Upper Deck said Wemby will 100% win, talking about an MVP award in his career. He said, 1 is liked by the media, talking about Wemby versus Luka. 34, 9, and 10 on good percentages with no spacing. If he didn't win it last year, he's never winning it. His 73-point games, negative coverage, proved it while Joel Embiid was praised. So he's basically saying the media hates Luka. Basically.
What y'all think? Y'all think they hate him?
No.
I don't
I think it depends on who you're talking about.
Yeah. That's 34, y'all. That's pretty much 34, 10, and 10 when he put up last year.
Yeah.
That's sick. And made it to the finals. Who talking about Luka, though? Maybe it is there. I haven't paid much attention to that.
Man, don't care about none of that. Look at
I don't really pay attention to the media, but I mean, if they aren't talking about him, I can understand that being seen as a negative.
34, 10, and 10 is what he almost did. Golly, gee.
He's a solid little player. He's pretty good.
That boy, go.
2K teacher said, someone explained to me what KD does at an elite level besides shoot over folks at 6'10". Never first or second team all defense, not a passer, not a leader, as we've seen every stop he's been.
Hey.
Mars, you had mentioned when we talking about the KD Bird thing about Bird not being able to guard in space because he was a team defender. Mars, as a team defender, isn't that my job to guard in space?
Not on the ball, no. It's to guard zone. Like, I'm not saying they're playing zone defense,
Right.
but it's his job to guard away from the ball and make rotations and double team the post and all of those things. That's his job. That's
Are we under the impression that every time KD gets the ball, he's going to score every trip? Like, I'm not going to make it.
No, I don't think that happens in any one-on-one.
That's what I'm saying.
Score every time. No.
Because that's what I'm thinking when we talk about KD and Bird in the one-on-one. Because I don't think Bird's going to score on him every trip neither. So the idea of him being able to guard it, like the idea of the idea of Bird being able to guard in space on the ball wasn't as bad as you think it is. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, KD was a different animal when you're talking about a one-on-one player. That part I won't argue. But the idea of Bird being able to guard in space, I saw him guard Bernard King in space on the ball. He wasn't terrible. I'm seeing him doing his best to deal with Dominique Wilkins in space. And he's doing the best that he can.
James Worthy, all these guys he guarded.
Right. I'm seeing him doing the best that he can.
Bird can guard him, man. I'm sorry. Bird can guard him.
Is he shutting the door on Kevin Durant, Mars? Hell no. But is Kevin Durant shutting the door on Bird too? No, I don't think so.
Mars said great offense is always going to beat out great defense. He said that. I heard him say that earlier. I was listening. For the record, I got Bird 11-8. That's what I got. I got Bird 11.
I got him 11-10.
I got Bird 11-8 because I think Bird is just the best big shot maker of all time. And he's gritty and gutty. I just never seen a guy like that. And I think he can even get in KD's head. I really do. That's part of the game. I think Bird can get in his head. I don't know what KD going to do if Bird call him the N-word. What do you think he'd do, y'all? Bird was, you don't tell the truth. Bird was known for that. He would do that to brothers and bust their head at the same time. I have friends that played against him in college, and they said that's the first thing he say to you. Tell you, I'm going to go right here with the N-word. What you finna do about it?
Smack Bird, right?
Go and tell your
if Bird's going to win the mental warfare game by being racist, then
Bird was, and it wasn't necessarily, it's trash talk. See, brothers in the hood back then just trash talk. So they were surprised to see a white guy trash talk them. Then
not that, Elder. Not no white dude. Not no white dude calling me. You know what? No, not that.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Hell no.
I told you this. I know, but them guys again. Think about it. You in the game. What you gonna do? Fire on him? No. You lose your scholarship. All that. Bird knew all that, but then he would back it up. You call him. That's a Bird's up. You call him that. Why can't I? Just because you that color? Take this. Go tell your mom you finna get 35 tonight. Then he'll come back in the middle. Hey, make an adjustment. Tell her you're getting 40. Stuff like that, man. Bird was crazy, dude. That dude was sick. And all he cared about was basketball. That's it. That's all Bird did. Look at his life. Magic out there in L.A. partying, all that. Bird ain't doing nothing. That book of study. He trying to win, bro. Bird, I'm telling you, I take Bird all day over him, bro. And KD is great. But I think Bird, next to LeBron, because I got to give LeBron, just with the accolades, the career, everything he's done, I'm going to put him number one small forward. Bird, too, to me, though. I got him over KD. This small forwards all time. That's me. That's just me.
Shout out to Larry Birds. And I know we're overrunning, but once again, Ron came and hijacked the show and started talking for 30 minutes. So I apologize. Ron. Yeah, I apologize, but it's really not my fault. Ron started taking over hosting duties and then just left. So I'm going to get through these super chats. So if you have to leave, I understand that, but I'm getting through these super chats. 1K David said, of course, Bird was doing that in the old 80s. He's not the same caliber in modern ball. I don't think we really have time to dive into why Bird would be really.
We don't know that.
Regardless of era. Cultured Bandit said, this is why we're done with the 80s. Dub Mars, you guys are tweaking. I ain't say we're done with the 80s. I got KD winning. Max Scar with the super chat. Shout out to you. 1K David, Bird never seen a 7-foot person that can move and hoop like Kevin Durant. I mean, none of us had seen a 7-footer who can move like KD until we seen KD. So,
yeah.
Alan R said, panelist Ron versus host Ron. Battle of mediocrity.
Garbage.
But yes, I agree. That's the reason I'm late.
My boy Ron.
Yeah, that's why I'm late on these super chats because of that, man. But Brax the Bandit, start, bench, cut, trade. OKC KD, Warriors KD, Brooklyn KD, Phoenix KD. Start, bench, cut, trade.
Start, Golden State KD. Bench OKC KD. I'm cutting.
Brooklyn.
I'm cutting Brooklyn KD, and I'll trade Phoenix
KD.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the same
because of the injuries. That's why in Brooklyn, because of the injuries, not because of his game, because of the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. LaFlame said, "Why Ox look like Montrezl Harrell? Dub Tatum, Dub Ron. Dub Ron is crazy. Dub Montrezl Harrell." Marshall and Will says, "Start bench cut Killian Hayes, Lakers Russ, and Prime Ron." Okay, so we cut in Ron.
Starting Russ and benching Killian Hayes.
We'll start Russ, bench Killian Hayes, and cut Ron. That's what we're going to do.
Prime Ron, the host Ron?
Lakers Russ, I'm starting Ron.
He definitely could.
Nah, that's not Ron.
He definitely could.
If
Ron,
you know, you know. I'm starting Ron.
Check your DMs, Ox. Shiny two
Already
times said check.
Already check.
Check your DMs. Antoine, L host Ron Facts. Chet is a bad rebounder and lacks traditional big skills. Sengun is an elite cutter, has elite vision, better ceiling, and DHO presence and outputs guards. I agree with the DHO presence. Elite cutter, elite vision. I agree with most of it, but yeah, I still think.
How many boards did Chet average this year?
7, 8, 7 or 8, something like that. 8, I think. Sengun averages about 9.
I think he's going to be an elite rebounder too. By the way,
who Chet?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he's out of position really playing. That's playing center. He's really a power forward. I can't wait to see what he does this year. This natural position
next to Hartenstein. Yeah,
that's gonna be something, bro. I can't wait.
Antoine also said Nash and KG would be the most synergistic duo ever in terms of how they complement each other. I think it'd be nice. Racing is a sport, Ox, just so you know.
Racing. No.
Racing 100%. 100 and the 200 is 100% a sport.
Racing is a sport. Racing is a sport.
So is car racing.
Car driving is not a sport, but racing is 100%.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. Antoine said Wizards have an underrated young core. Dub Ox. Ox, you have them going in the plane, right? That's what you said.
I
Wizards.
What?
I have the Wizards.
What is that?
He has the Wizards.
You heard him right, Elder. You heard him. You heard him right.
I got the Wizards in the plane this year for sure, dude.
Oh my god! I know the East is weak, but they ain't that weak. Jeez,
I'm surprised by the Wizards, man.
I'm gonna be surprised, when they move from 14th to 13th. Yeah.
Elder, you got to come off that East is weak logic. That was years ago. That's not going on like
the East is weak.
No,
they are top heavy, but they weak.
It is top
heavy, but they weak. Not even close to what the West is. Not even close.
Yeah, the West got like 13.
I got 6 teams in the East that I trust in that can make some noise. The rest of y'all, see you next year.
That's more than half.
Hopefully you get Cooper flag.
The West has 13 teams that are probably trying to make the playoffs.
Yes. I've been giving my thing out there with the West. I got 6 teams, playoff teams making it. Then I got 6 other teams fighting for those 4 playing spots. And these are some juggernauts. Those 6 teams I got fighting, I got both LA teams. I got Sacramento fighting. I got Golden State fighting. I got Houston fighting. And I got the Pelicans. Them the 6 teams I got fighting for what? And now Pelicans, the only one to me can move up if they're healthy because they've shown when they're healthy and doing what they do, they're a top 2 or 3 team in the West. They're the only ones. The rest of them, if it stays the way it is, I got them fighting for those 4 spots. And you still got San Antonio out there acting like, hey, what we finna do? We may show you something. We don't know what Utah doing. They making moves like they want to play this year. I thought they was in the Cooper Flag thing, but they give him a man all the money, then you're signing the Patty Mills and you're doing all these kind of moves. They act like they want to play this year. They ain't gonna be no easy. I can tell you this: they won't be an easy win, no matter what they do. You ain't gonna be an easy win with Utah.
The only team that's clearly trying to lose is Portland.
Yeah, and Detroit. I don't think Detroit.
Yeah, but in the West.
In the West, yeah. But the East, I don't trust none of them dudes, man. If you're in top 6, I don't trust you in the East.
Antoine said peak SGA versus Russ is closer than you guys think. Just real quick, does anyone have SGA over peak Russell Westbrook?
No.
Okay. No. I guess
love SGA.
Hell no.
Yeah, I love SGA, but Russell's a beast, man.
Say less says you keep saying chips like they are not also accolades. He's basically saying championships are also accolades. So
they are.
It goes into,
I get what you're saying.
Chris Louis or Chris Lewis, I don't know. I disagree with what Elder says, but I do agree that I would rather have someone who can do their job than a superstar who can't. So basically saying he thinks Vince Carter's better, but he'd also rather have a role.
Yeah.
You got to go, Joe?
Tomorrow, fellas.
Yes, sir.
All right, Joe.
Lee Mack said, I feel Vince had to be an entertaining player more than versatile because it was a new franchise and was pigeonholed to a style that stunted his success in an area despite his talent. So
I think the NBA they do a bad job of identifying number ones. They got a lot of guys that are ones that shouldn't be. DeRozan shouldn't have been a one. I can go on and on. These guys, if you really identify who they are, put them at a 2, put them at a 3, and you may want to chip. That's how I feel.
Carla McKell became a member. Shout out to you. Dolly Lama said, if we're slandering Hall of Famers, let's mention Wes Unskilled. Talking about Wes Unseld.
We brought him up, but can't be too bad. Hey, it can't be too bad to win the MVP as a rookie. Can't be too bad.
Shout out to him, the worst MVP in history, man. Shout out to Wes Unseld. Sliverman said, Harden took the GOAT team to the edge and only lost because of the unluckiest shooting streak ever, plus Chris Paul's injury. Murray was playing off of Jokic. It's not even close between them on who affects winning more. So he's basically saying Harden's more impactful than Jamal Murray.
I don't agree with that.
I do, but that's a whole nother kind of worms that we don't have time to get into. And then Cam said, Bird going to Boston makes a lot more sense now in terms of him saying that. I appreciate
it. Was all trash talk, y'all. He's not a racist. I promise you. He's not a racist at all. It was just trash talk.
Shout out to Larry Bird, not a racist.
He's not. He is not a racist. No.
Shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone for watching. I would have got through the super chats on time, but we're blaming Ron. Just L Ron in the comments after the video. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know if Ron's going to show up. He just does what he wants. He's the superstar of the show. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Merry Christmas, open gym, all of those good stuff. Thank you to Elder for putting up.